How long ago did he write Game of Thrones? It's like 20
I mean,
years.
a long time ago, but like Gundam is older for sure. But like this part of Gundam specifically, I'm not sure how long this has existed.
That's true. Also, I really want to see Guillermo del Toro do a Gundam thing because he did so good with Pacific Rim, the first one. That
Dude, yeah. And the second is fucking great eye candy. Like it's not good, but like I fucking love watching it.
It's eye candy, but I don't want to watch it again.
Yeah.
Even with
I've watched the first Pacific Rim several times. I've only watched the second one once.
I could watch the first one anytime. It comes on, I'm gonna watch it.
Like I spoil myself though, or in a good way. Like when that movie came out, I went to I drove a long way when it was like a new thing, the D box.
Yeah.
So I went to watch it in that, and I was like, wow, it was my first experience with it, and it would never be like that. Yeah. Like I was fucking watching the movie, and the fucking seats were moving. I'm like,
I'm just laughing at the D box. They didn't.
Right, that's a terrible one.
Who came up with that?
D box.
More childish people need to be in charge of marketing.
Yes.
I was like, that was a way too mature person who came up with that because they clearly didn't understand what they were saying. Hey, do you want to come sit in my D box that vibrates? Fuckers. I have never actually watched like a 4D movie.
No, one and only time, and I was like, because it was a giant robot movie, I'm like, I got it.
I guess it'd be fun to see. That would definitely be a 5D one where they're like hitting you with the like wind and the fucking like spray and stuff like that.
Like the Universal Studios or something.
Yeah. No, my luck, I would be the fucker who gets the broken one that actually like breaks off and just starts hosing me instead. Like, god damn, like fuck. Now, if it did that to you when it like sprays some like one of the things like shoots venom at you and then it's like ah, and you start freaking the fuck out, that would be something. You know, but like that's the best giant robot movie we've gotten in at least the last decade, so to speak.
Live action wise, I can't think of any other
than Robot Jocks, but that's way back.
Though.
I know
it was amazing at the time as a kid.
Yeah,
there was nothing like it, and there was nothing like that after for a long time.
If ever, still one of my favorite cheesy movies.
Yeah,
I will watch that any given time.
Yep,
and it's never gotten a proper Blu-ray release.
I mean, nobody cares about that movie other than like the six of us.
Yeah, the six of us to keep it going. I still have the VHS at my mom's house.
Amazing.
I think I have the DVD. I don't remember. My DVDs are all locked up, kind of. But big robots in general, outside of the Bayverse, don't get any love on the big screen, with the exception of a quick reference here and there. You know.
Yeah, like Ready Player One.
Yeah.
Gundam in there.
Jesus Christ, dude. The amount of people in Gundam groups are like, oh my god, did you see the Gundam in there that was on screen for approximately 1 minute?
And it was the best part of the movie. Or you can just watch that 1 minute.
Yeah, just watch that over and over and over. Though, of course, in reality, I don't know that he would do that well against the gigantic, not quite Mechagodzilla, but, you know.
It's He's got magic powers, bro.
But he wasn't a new type.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Yeah, I would love to see. But I don't love the scale though of Gundam really. Like they're too big for my taste. I've seen the real life one. Like I see it here. Like I like my just big robot wise. Not talking about Gundam. Just big robot preferences. I like Pat Labor.
Okay. More reasonable size.
Most realistic, functional piece of equipment. Like a Gundam size piece of metal technology, just being an adult and looking at fucking torque and forces now, like that shit doesn't work.
No,
that shit will rip itself apart.
Square cube law. It just wouldn't function.
Yeah, like a Pat Labor or like a Armored Trooper Votum, like that fucking size makes sense, and it also makes sense for urban warfare. You can actually hide behind buildings.
Or Full Metal Panic, same difference. They're tiny in comparison. Like the 1/60th scale, the same size as a HG Gundam.
Yeah, so like that's the size of robots.
Holy shit. I just got a ton of messages all at once.
Did you maybe net cut out and just came back on?
No. I just because it re-goes every hour or so it's not just constantly going. But I got I just set up to do a toy passing challenge, which is a fun little video thing. You know, you take your thing and you like show it off just real quick and you pass it to the next person. So the guys that did the first video hit me up last night and they say, hey, can we join in on yours? He's like, we did the first one. Can we join in on yours? I'm like, sure. Just go sign up on the thing. So, because set up a spreadsheet so we can set up the order and make sure it's not just chaos in the editing. So he just sent in like a ton of shit. So that's what all the messages were. So at the same time I was messaging you this morning, he was hitting me. And I was like, and obviously I've been silent for like 2 hours now. So it's just a whole thing. That along with my charity contest that just ended, and now I've got to get all the winners stuff together and things like that. And I know you barely caught wind of it like a month ago, so you wouldn't have had time to jump in.
Yeah, I was like, and Bobby mentioned it.
Yeah. It's like, because you mentioned you were building Gundams, and I was like, oh fuck. It's like I should hit up Joe, see if he wants to join in. Dude, there were some ridiculous fucking things here. Let me see if I can. Let me send you the winner just so you have an idea here. Where is he? I'll send it to you on Messenger.
Ooh,
that was the winner.
Nice.
And he scratch built that demon astray and then the full like temple diorama around it and everything like that.
Fucking work. Yeah, because it's not just a kid, there's a whole fucking diorama in there.
Yes. So that was the advanced winner and then the best in show. And so there weren't as many entries this year. It was kind of sad. Just didn't get the exposure. Plus beer flu happened.
Beer flu's fucking a lot of things up.
It's fucking a lot of things up. But I'm kind of lucky, and I fully admit this. That guy is local, so I don't have to ship his price.
Nice.
I can just meet him. So he got the big boy. So,
oh yeah. That thing. Whew.
I've got the regular one.
Yeah. But that's the regular plus all the extra, because you can actually build just the regular one. In gray.
The prototype-y color one, yeah.
Yeah.
And then actually one of my friends won the MG Barbatos. So, and I'm about to start that one. I've got it.
I mean, also.
Yep. I've only built the FM version. I didn't build the MG obviously yet. So, but yeah, I just between Gundam and then like Transformers and stuff like that, my big robots are just kind of set, And then I got the Power Ranger stuff as well. I like the Super Mini Black Hits, not to mention Solo Chigokin stuff.
Yeah.
So me and big robots are friends. But as you're talking about like the scale, like Transformers always made more sense size wise.
Yeah, that's a same ballpark of like the other robots I'm talking about. Something that you can, like Optimus Prime size, a robot that if you need a pilot, you can fit a pilot in there, a person in there, and it's still a big robot. And like Titanfall. Titanfall was great.
Yeah, something in the 20 to 30 feet,
Exactly.
And that max out.
Fucking hide behind houses if you need to, if you're fucking fighting a war or something.
Yeah, exactly. You don't need
Gundam unless you're fighting in the city behind skyscrapers. Even then, you're too big to walk around the roads.
Yeah, you just blow everything up. But I think that's why initially they were all developed for low G or 0G use.
Space.
Yeah, and they just needed something that wasn't a gigantic warship flying through space or small fighters that would just get wiped out anyways. But it's so funny that like all of these things always conclude that the ultimate weapon is a giant humanoid robot, not a gun, not a ship. A giant humanoid robot is the way to go.
I mean, it's something about people that want to create things in their own image, right?
Yep.
Because like the thing about mobile suits is that it's basically just a binder system, but in human form. Because like in space, you're more maneuverable and save a reaction mass, save thrust, when you can just like throw your arm and then spins you versus having to use thrust to spin you.
Yeah.
And that's why like Zeta Gundam and Hayako Shiki are so maneuverable, because they have those movable binders.
Yeah.
So basically all they really need is like a fucking ball with a bunch of tentacles around it. Really that's the most efficient thing. But we like to make things that we can comprehend. And also hands. They said hands help because they can turn knobs and grab things.
Actual manipulators, not that's what I thought was funny, is that like the quote unquote lesser things just have claws, or like a three jaw thing just to basically hold something. But then ultimately we end up with 5 fingers and a thumb, or 4 fingers and a thumb, if you're not weird. Extra pinky, motherfucker. Oh, that'd be so funny. And yet they don't give them toes; they just give them feet, because they just big old chunky feet.
They're really chunky too. They don't even. Yeah.
Well, I mean, ultimately, Well, like you said, ultimately, like a ball with a bunch of funnels and like 4 arms, you'd be
Yeah.
done. It's like you don't need much else.
No, and like the gravity, the power scaling of Gundam, it's exponential. It's a problem. It becomes more and more realistic. One of the reasons why I like grunt suits is because they're still somewhat grounded. And the older series,
Mm-hmm.
like Double O or Seed, where they're just fucking flying around.
Yeah.
You look at like old, like even 0080, like they're grounded. They're not fucking flying.
Yeah.
They can jump sometimes, or
They
they
can
can hover
hover. Yeah.
a
Yeah.
little bit, but like gravity fucking matters. They're not flying because the reactor output or whatever. They
Mm-hmm.
actually have energy settings. Like, well, you can't use your jump thrust and your beam saber at the same time. As a matter of fact, Zaku's can't have beam sabers because the reactors
It
are
was just a
fuel.
waste of time. Yeah.
Yeah, so like that's part. They become because Gundam was like was the original real robot,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
They started the genre of real robots, where everything before that was super robots,
Super
like
robots. Yeah.
Power Rangers and all
Voltron, things like that.
super robots.
Yeah.
So like, but then Gundam with the newer alternate universe stuff, especially
Mm-hmm.
other than IBO.
Mm-hmm.
IBO went back to the fucking roots, which is why I love it.
Mm-hmm.
But like went the super robot route. There's just fucking super robots flying around with
Mm-hmm.
Gundam face.
Yeah, I think that's where Seed failed. You're right in that. Literally, like more and more power, but without explanation, other than the fact that like these are nuclear powered. At least the good ones were nuclear powered, and that's why they were so much more powerful than the other ones.
Yeah.
And they were massively maneuverable, but also they mostly did flight type battles. Like you said, they're mostly fighting in the sky, almost never on the ground. If they
Yeah.
did, they all hovered anyways. Double O found its way around that
The
because,
G
huh?
the GN drive.
Yeah, GN drives. The at least the third most magical uh, particle generation, because they can alter the. Which I found out just researching it because somebody wanted to know how GN drives worked, so I had to explain it to them. Um, the fact that it can actually quote unquote alter the mass, or at least the gravity effect,
Yeah.
on the suit. So technically, it's not flying so much as almost anti-graving away.
Yeah.
So
It's
that's why.
floating.
Yeah. So it's like, why doesn't it use thrusters? It's like because it kind of doesn't need them. It
I
just
mean,
sort of
it's
jumps.
like a feather.
Yeah, it sort of jumps and pushes itself forward with light particles. You're like, what? It's like, yeah. Don't
No,
ask. Don't ask why it can use light to do that. It's using the mass of photons to move itself.
right. I mean, like with the engineering and stuff, it makes sense. It's just where you get another power from.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
the only thing. Where you getting, yeah, where you
yeah.
can that much power.
Which
You can,
new magical source of power are you using?
yeah.
But
And then the flight battles are fucking great. Like I love it. We all love, like, again, eye candy
Mhm.
scrape, but then you don't get the EZA versus Scoop custom battle.
That's true.
You know what I mean? That is a fucking robot fight. That's a real robot fight right there.
But what's interesting in the Double O universe, prior to Celestial Being becoming a thing, they had their normal whatever the reactors were, and most of the countries did use ground type fighting. So you get the Tierans and stuff like that, which is that version of the Zaku.
Right.
And super old technology if you look at it. It's like you can tell this is definitely like Eastern Asia, fucking Russia type thinking, big, hefty, made of metal, big guns on it, and it's going to go to war on the ground. And it was super successful until, of course, the U.S. comes up with the fast, light jet types that can transform, but, can only take so many Gs and stuff like that. And, can only attack very quickly. You're not going to get in a standing battle with it because you'll just smash the shit out of it. So
Yeah.
it moved to air.
Easy.
Yeah. So it's funny that their mech warfare advanced the same way regular warfare did. So we went
Yeah.
from fighting on the ground to, once we figured out how to fight in the air, we found the way to be faster, lighter, stronger in the air, but we stopped fighting on the ground as much.
Yeah.
Until the new gods arrived and showed us a better way, and then we accidentaled ourselves across some of their advanced technology to make ourselves better. Which was the whole idea of Double O, was to make humanity better. But what's funny, technology-wise, in IBO, the Ahab reactors are more ridiculous. If you actually looked in how the Ahab reactors work, they literally are anything engines. They're supposedly indestructible. They're perpetual. They will always just continually make more power.
Yeah. That's the thing. Like,
Yeah,
They don't.
Because
Hundreds of years, it's just as powerful.
yeah, they just keep doing the thing. They literally can use them as generators for their ships and everything else like that. They just keep going. But then the fact that they also can create gravity with them. Like, instead of what the GN drive does by removing mass, essentially, they actually create gravity using the AHAB reactors. That's why the ships can have gravity. That's why the stations can have gravity. They're using AHAB reactors for that and quote-unquote gravity plates. I was like, you could have used that more to your advantage. I'd have been creating gravity-style weapons, like pull your enemy towards you with a big-ass gravity plate and then smash them over the head, because beam weaponry was made obsolete, which I loved that in IBO. Like,
it became too much beams. Like, beams were like special, and then there was too many beams.
Yeah, Seed killed beam tech, but instead they went with the plot killer devices with the Dine slaves. Like, oh, you thought you were the antagonist and you'd survive this? The plot killer or plot armor killer.
Yep.
Hanate. Oh, have you seen the IBO 2020 meme?
Mm-mm.
It's literally that battle. So they've got Lupus Rex and
and
then 2020.
I was like,
God damn it, man!
It's IBO though. Like, if you've watched the first 5 episodes, you know how it's gonna end.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I think
how it's gonna end. You know, like, this universe is not a happy one.
No, it was never a happy.
A lot of Gundams are not happy universes. Like, that's.
Yeah, but most people, they weren't. Well, like, we've been trained to expect the good guys to win, but then if you really look at it, Tekkadan was not the good guys.
No,
they were just some guys.
Yeah,
exactly. It's like
it's just these bros over here doing the fucking bro thing.
And it comes down to, like, and it's not a realization they ever had because everybody has their own side, but it's almost like shit, guys, I think we're the bad guys, you know? But in universe, they were the bad guys. But for Mars and for their people, they weren't. They were, and I had this realization the whole time, like 3 weeks ago, I had this realization, no joke. It just talking out, just like we just did, I went, holy shit, Tekkadan with the Xeon of that. It's like,
but Xeons weren't. They were the bad guys, but not necessarily the bad guys.
It's the point of view that you're being shown the story, and be like, yeah, from the Yellowhorn or / Federation side, they're the bad guys, but we're seeing it from the protagonist side, so we're seeing the guys oppressing them as the bad ones. I was like, fuck me, this is it's Gundam the Origins, but of IBO's universe.
Gundam is like, I feel like Gundam's always been that way. Like,
yeah,
I grew up with. I think that's why my views are a little bit different than other people's, especially in America. When I came here, growing up with Gundam, and like, my idea and I had conversations with other people of good guys and bad guys has never meshed. Like,
no.
Not as an adult now, more like more, but as like a teenager or as a kid, talking about good guys, bad guys, like, I feel like I'm talking to a fucking wall.
Mm-hmm. Because people have
aren't the good guys, or these aren't the bad guys necessarily. You know what I mean?
It's not the Marvel DC level of morality.
Yeah.
It's like, you don't have you're the bad guys, you're the good guys. Everyone is the hero of their own story.
And nefarious plots and like.
Well,
and talking about the individual levels within a faction, like, Gundam zooms down to that. Like, I probably shouldn't have watched 0080 as a kid. That was
no,
but I did.
Yeah.
So like that maybe that's part of why I love fucking Mono Eyes, because I saw the Zaku as kind of a good guy, even though it wasn't.
No.
Like,
but
Gundam wasn't a bad guy either. Like that at that specific movie and that specific story, there was no happy ending because there was no good guy and no bad guy. The only people that profited or suffered was the fucking people who weren't even on the battlefield.
Yeah, exactly. The that old quote that war knows no nation. It's like, it's like everyone's here, everyone's involved in this war. There are sides, but neither one is technically right, but they're just right in their own mind. Or it like the best modern comparison is the Joker movie. He's a villain, but he's the hero of his own story.
Yeah.
So everyone else is the villain to him in that movie.
And I think it really is like that. So like, we have a societal code of morality, and most of us subscribe to that. But like, you can't make everyone subscribe because everyone's a hero in their own fucking story.
Exactly.
Right? I'm sure even fucking Hitler thought he was a hero in his own goddamn story, even though the rest of the world knew he wasn't.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't convince him otherwise.
No, especially if they talk really well. It's like, it's
Right?
like if you're a good talker, you can bring anybody to your side.
So
But
yeah,
yeah,
we just try to refine a societal code that everyone can fucking sign on with, or
yeah,
most of it sign on with.
it's the societal code to where we have the least amount of villains.
Yeah,
Yeah, we don't want to end up like My Hero Academia.
I'm not caught up, but yes,
Yeah, we don't want to end up in that kind of world where, well, actually, even that where some people don't see heroes as heroes.
no, like Stain. Stain was like, you guys aren't fucking real heroes. You get paid for to do this shit. Like, I
Yeah,
want to see a real hero.
yeah, that's why he wanted to deal with All Might
Yep.
or wipe out the idea of hero as a business.
Yes.
You know,
And All
but
Might is a hero. Oh,
yeah,
was a hero. Yeah.
he
I
always
mean,
will be.
and there are fucking. I mean, you gotta get paid though, right?
Yeah,
Sometimes.
well, that's also where I
I mean,
feel.
like, we treat like, let's say, firefighters. They're
Yeah,
heroes, right? They fucking go in the fire, and if they put out your house, they put
yeah,
out the fire in your house, but they get paid, but they're
they
still heroes.
they should
So
be.
it's like, yeah, exactly, and they should be, and it's gray area because
Hmm.
we technically have volunteer firefighters too, but I mean, even though you get paid, you're still choosing to put your life in danger to for that.
Exactly. But then what's so funny is that One Punch Man came out way before,
Yes,
but also ends up being a parody of My Hero. Like
yes,
it's to the extreme, not just because of
yeah.
Saitama, but because of everything there is. Because you do have those super powerful heroes in that who literally are in it only for the buck or for
And
the
for personal gain.
or the fame, yeah. Whereas My Hero does it in a very well, well, obviously it's a high school drama as well,
Yeah,
but mixed in with all the bullshit of One Punch Man on the villain side. But even in there, the Monster Society doesn't view themselves as
no,
villains.
they don't.
In
They
this,
like, we're claiming our shit.
yeah, and I guess the manga
Why
goes way
why
further
we
into that.
why we're living in fucking holes?
Yeah, exactly. And then well, I guess later in the manga, it's more discovered the history of monsters and how they came about and all that, and why they were pushed in and humanity gets to take over, so to speak, and all things like that. So they are the suppressed people, so to speak, of that. And then, of course, when they started spreading the monster seeds or whatever to convert people,
Yeah,
you know,
monsters.
yeah, into monsters, it's just like, okay, so who's right, who's really wrong here versus societal norms of protect the people of the surface? Well, technically, they're people too. They're just monstrous people.
They just look different.
Yeah,
Basically, they just fucking look different.
yeah, they're and may or may not have ridiculous powers.
Yes, but
Or
like the people, Saitama has ridiculous powers.
yes,
You
but
know,
he's a monster. Well, that's why Garo is
he's like,
so amazing
yes,
as a
Garo's.
character. Yeah,
You don't need to see I am a monster.
to me, and a lot of people have watched online. Garo is technically the actual protagonist of that story because he's down the middle. He's a human that doesn't like humanity but has the power of a monster and sees it from their point of view.
Mm-hmm.
And doesn't want to be a hero. He wants to be a monster because he was so tired of the heroes always beating down the monsters.
Yep.
It's like
Even as
Saitama's,
even as
yeah,
a child, that way.
yeah, and so that's why I think ultimately it may go his way in the end. And Saitama, it's like in the end we ultimately just want him and Saitama to be either on each other's side or just polar opposites or
Right.
whatever, and the world becomes balanced because of them. It's not like Megatron and Optimus level, but other things like that. We always got to have the polar or the complete opposite morality, so to speak. But Garo's not actually the opposite. He's kind of
He's gray.
yeah, he's super gray, but so is Saitama, but he is gray on the other side of gray. It doesn't make
Yeah.
sense. It's like
Yeah.
he's still down the middle and he does what he does because he does believe in protecting people. But once he seems to have an understanding of something, his opinion can shift.
Yep.
Not
I
to
mean,
mention he's just bored.
yeah. I mean, like, there's so many reasons why you can like Saitama as a character.
Yeah.
Not some people just like him because he can fucking punch shit, but like, there's more
Yeah.
depth to him. A lot more depth to him than
Yeah.
that. But I mean, shit like this is why I fucking love anime,
Mhm.
and like,
It,
like I've shifted to like within the last year or two, like exclusively to anime and manga.
yeah.
in media consumption other than regular movies and stuff. I just find it personally, like opinion wise, subjectively, to be a superior
It is.
way of
And
storytelling than traditional American or live action or like comic book style versus manga style.
yeah, I think what's really strange about it, so anime, with the few exceptions of different genres of it, is a superior storytelling method.
You can tell
Only, yeah,
anything.
yeah,
Yeah.
but it almost modern anime is actually so close to older versions of American animated storytelling. So we used to be able to tell moral stories
And you
without,
punished these back in the day.
yeah, it's like, but Bambi's mom also died, you
Yes.
know? It's just
Yeah.
like, but nowadays we don't get, well, actually, I guess Pixar is a lot closer to that area where even in Incredibles was also borderlining that idea of heroes are heroes, but are all heroes the same, or are some of them not villains? Is this world more gray, less black and white than we really want it to be? So certain writers are capable of going into those same depths and using animation to make it happen, versus the super happy-go-lucky good guys, bad guys, everything's fine and dandy otherwise, nothing ever goes wrong in your life, Nickelodeon mid 2000s bullshit.
I wonder if a lot of that has to do with corporate influence, though, like what they think that target audiences, general audiences, the like largest amount of audience they can capture.
The easiest thing to digest.
Yeah,
It,
they're not going like where anime doesn't care.
yeah,
Like
it's
I'm gonna make this thing, and then they have an audience anyway. Like one of my favorite one of my two favorite fucking anime shows right now is one is about cooking and the other one is about volleyball. Two things I care nothing about in real life.
yeah.
Like,
Um, I was thinking that well, not exclusively American, but modern, not always animated, but also younger storytelling. Even if it's the Nickelodeon or the Disney or whatever shit, is the mumble rap of morality. It's easy to digest, mass marketed, and you may not always catch everything there, but at least it was shiny. Whereas some people don't want depth. Let's just be honest. Not everybody wants depth, wants feelings.
but you
Like,
should have a choice. I feel like, right?
true.
I mean, like, I feel like let the audience decide. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like anime. There's so many different. I think it's called a money issue too. Maybe cost less to produce or whatever. But there's so many animes out there. There's a fucking infinite animes out there,
Mhm.
and like it's like whatever audience wants it, they get it. If they don't want it, they don't want it. Where like if you're trying to make a piece of media for as many people as possible every fucking time, you're gonna be stuck with certain ideas.
And I think we have the cookie cutters. We have like
Yeah.
the set, like I'd say 8 types of shows. And they just
Right.
go this one, and then occasionally they'll go, we'll get a little bit of this one chopped in there too. But anime is literally, oh, we have a spectrum. Like you said, there's an infinite number of animes, and the spectrum of feelings, emotions, thoughts, concepts are explored so much more with anime.
And the variety of maturity. You can have
Yeah.
a fucking Pokemon, but you can have like IBO.
Yeah.
I mean, and I don't know if it's partly like when the creators or studios, whatever it is not giving the American audience enough credit.
It's true.
Thinking that they can't handle more than they can.
I don't even think it's the studios. I think it's the distribution networks, because when like I compare it to, so growing up, you're a little bit older than me. Growing up here, 80s, 90s, you had your mainstay cartoons, G.I. Joe, He-Man, Transformers, Ghostbusters. They told you the moral things you needed to know, and then if you needed, you had educational shows to fill in the gaps otherwise. And then you get a little bit older, you get more live action shows, but also things that are a little bit more moral. You get your Power Rangers, and you get things like that. Then you get things like Batman animated series, which was which is a masterpiece.
Yeah.
And then the DC animated universe that expanded from that. It got a little wishy-washy later on, but it still stayed with the same thoughts, feelings, maturity level. Like, that show was mature as hell. I mean,
Yes.
they won a daytime Emmy for Heart of Ice. You know, the Mr. Freeze
Yep.
episode. It's still one of the best things ever. And then like addressing real topics like the death of a loved one and how do you deal with it when something tragic happens to you and gives you the power to deal with it.
Yeah.
You know, well, that's also Batman. That's Batman in a nutshell. Something
Yep.
tragic happened to him, and he was given the power to deal with that tragedy by beating up thugs in alleyways. He, or as the old joke is, he beats up people with his money. Um, so, but he's always moral and intelligent, and some people love that for that. But then you also get Teen Titans Go later
Yeah.
on from
Yep.
the original Teen Titans, which was always a better show. I will always argue that. But then you get to those other cartoons, those other live action shows, especially in the early 2000s, all the way up into the 2010s, that no maturity level, just silliness. And there's time
Yep.
for that. There is. Like, I fully admit I loved iCarly for the longest time. It was a fucking funny show. It really was. And like, and there was some humor in there that was like, a kid is not going to get that. Like, that
Yep.
was not targeted at kids. And even though they were teenagers or younger and then they grew up on TV and all that shit, like some of it was really good. And then it started getting garbage. You could tell where the authors weren't the same or the writers weren't the same. Um, and clearly the actresses wanted to stop playing teenagers as they hit their early 20s.
Yeah.
But then you get into all these shows that teaches you that you don't need your parent to have all you want in your life. You don't need to learn anything. You just need to be a goofball on the internet, and you can have all the money and wealth and fame that you want. And then anime doesn't do that.
No, I don't think it changed.
No, it's like to me, other than evolving and more things coming up, like
Yeah.
new ideas.
Yeah.
It
Because we still have. I mean, to this day, we still have Dragon Ball,
yeah
right?
yeah
But we still have all these other new things.
yeah. And if we just forget that
Like, we
GT
always
ever
have
existed,
huh?
we just forget that GT ever existed.
We forget DTF because it didn't.
No. Uh, and so we just go with Super, except for those few chapters.
Yep.
And
So
I'm so far behind on
me
on the
too.
manga.
I can't. I mean, that's because there's so much fucking content. It's hard to keep up. But
That
like,
yeah.
I'm never short. I'm on episode 820 of One Piece.
I can't even start One Piece now. I don't
Uh,
have the time in my life. My
no,
remaining life, I don't have enough time to watch all of fucking One Piece. I haven't
it,
caught up. I haven't finished Fairy Tail. Like I got into just after the time skip in Fairy Tail, and I had to stop and then start watching other stuff.
no, Fairy Tail. I have never watched it because I always feel like it's just inferior to One Piece. My girlfriend's
I'll give you that.
my wife watched Fairy Tail and she's like, yeah, it's inferior to One Piece. Just watch One Piece.
I
We love One Piece. Is like one of our fucking favorite things. It's that's another fucking thing that's possible in anime that doesn't seem to be possible in comic books or whatever.
yeah.
30+ year journeys of without any retcons, without any fucking reboots, without any different fucking authors even. Like,
One story.
that stays good.
Yeah.
Dude, the One Piece still has tear-jerking moments 800 episodes in.
Yeah. Or
I think I've cried more watching One Piece than any other piece of media I've ever fucking consumed.
I don't think there's any one other story with the exception of maybe some comic books like in the Marvel lines because they have had 40, 50 years to build out universes that have world building like One Piece.
Yeah, or just stay consistent. Like I got out of I used to love comic books. We all did, right? But I got out of it like maybe 6, 7 years ago. I'm like,
Mhm.
I can't with this anymore. Like, who is this character? I can't even. It's like, what is a Gundam? At least you can be like, well, it's named Gundam.
Yeah.
Tell me about Psylocke. Where do I fucking start?
Which Psylocke? Yeah.
You know, I just can't. I'm like, at some point you lose connection,
Yeah.
you know, and relatability with a character when you don't even know who they are anymore or who they were.
Which, ironically, because
With writers, I think.
yeah. Well, I think that's the kind of irony to some degree is why Bobby loves Batman is that Batman is basically the most consistent comic book character of all time. He really is. And in some continuities, it is the same Batman that has been around for 40 years.
Yes.
That does happen. But yeah, you're right. It's not like anime.
Naruto, another one. Like there are multiple. Like
yeah.
Hajime no Ippo.
Yeah.
Like, thousands, like over 1,000 chapters also in,
Yeah.
in manga form, like
for a boxing
and,
manga.
and it's fucking consistent.
Yeah. Now,
And it stays good. It's not there are things. I mean, manga, anime, regardless otherwise, and any other media, like things that overstays their welcome. Like it just drags on, and you should have like Bleach should have ended way before, way before it got to the point it got to. But
I'll argue with that one. I'll argue with you on Bleach.
You think Bleach is good?
I liked Bleach.
I loved Bleach for a minute.
Hold on. I did read at least the last half of Bleach, and I did watch all of the anime, and I know the differences here and there, and there were parts that definitely overstayed its welcome. But the problem that happens too often is that with Kubo's own family issues, you know, and then health issues because he was always sick, all these other things, and then pressure from studios and publishers pushing him to not get the story he wanted. He did tell a what's the word I'm looking for? One, an incomplete story, and two, one that was just lesser quality than he wanted to tell. There were arcs of Bleach that sucked. Don't get me wrong.
I mean, I stuck with it even when it was bad for a long time before I finally gave up. Up through Aizen is fucking great, but like once Fullbring, and then it's like, oh, okay, so like Ichigo is a Marisu of Marisu's.
He's all the things. Well,
he's all the things.
Well,
he's a fucking.
I would argue that.
Quincy, he's a fucking Hollow. He's a fucking every goddamn thing.
Hey, but the one, and I just said this the other because I talk to myself all the time because I like intelligent conversation. I think that's a Megatron quote actually from Beast Wars. Anyways, the only reason he's a Fullbringer is because his mom was a Quincy and got attacked by a Hollow. It's the only reason. It's like, that's just a byproduct of all the other bullshit of his life. That's all it is. And it only meant something to build out. It had to be a reset somehow. And then they almost didn't matter at all until the very end of the story again, which was rushed and bullshit. Now,
I think they should have just stopped at Aizen arc, and it would have been fine. I think it was great to that point.
I mean, I could agree with that. That they could have ended it after. Would you mean the full Aizen arc, like all the way through Hueco Mundo, and then all that stuff, like where he finally beat him, and then
sure, I can take it without that. Just Soul Society.
Jump to Soul Society. Okay. Ooh,
Mundo is also fine, but it becomes the same rehash. Bleach
it does. It is
a set of these guys, and you beat them, and then here's another set of these guys, and you get a new form, and you beat them. And
that is Dragon Ball too.
Exactly, but Dragon Ball's not good. I've always said that. I love Dragon Ball, but I will never say Dragon Ball.
It's good. Yeah, you never say it's good. Yeah.
I would never recommend someone to watch it that hasn't watched it growing up.
Yeah. But
I mean, to be a fan of Dragon Ball. It's not good.
Okay, so in that argument, what's different between Naruto and Bleach in that aspect?
Naruto has. Are you serious?
No, I'm playing devil's advocate.
Naruto is a much better piece of fiction than Bleach.
But it
has story and character development of many characters.
But
and I like the main team. I fucking hate Sasuke. I'm okay with Naruto. And Sakura's fine, but it's everybody else that's fucking amazing. It's Kakashi, it's Guy, it's fucking.
Okay, but dude, see, that was
also Naruto also. You get me started. Naruto also pissed me off. I was a huge fan until I also dropped off, and I finished it, but like I gave up on saying I'm a huge fan. As soon as I knew what was gonna happen, I was hoping it doesn't happen. As soon as I saw that Sasuke really is gonna get fucking get a redemption arc, I'm like, I'm done with this. This has become a child story now. Like you don't get to fucking do that and everything he did and gets to come back. You just fucking don't.
I'm okay.
Vader got to come back because he died. If Vader didn't fucking die, people aren't going to be like, oh, we're cool with it. It's a problem. Same problem I have with Magneto. You don't get to fucking try to commit genocide and then people are cool with you again after that. That's just not how it works.
But but they did address that. They did actually address that in the series, in the manga, where Sasuke doesn't live in the village. He just goes out and is the Shadow Hokage. You know, so his redemption arc is, I really fucked everything, but I also helped bring about the change of the world that I wanted. So he sort of got his moral ending, just not by killing Naruto like he thought he would. He did manage to reset the world in the same way that he wanted to, but he didn't have to die to do it. But his old ways, his old thoughts, his old heart did.
That's why I was able to power through it. It
But
was like I
that's
still like it, but like
it's the power of Taka no Jutsu.
yeah, that's what Naruto has.
Yes.
Hey, you have great chocolate and get
But,
everyone to do what you want.
Goku sort of has that. He brings people to his side that were his enemies.
Yeah, Goku's an idiot.
Usually through.
I don't like Goku. I like Vegeta. Vegeta's my guy.
Vegeta's actually gets real development. Well, Goku has a flat character arc, so it doesn't matter.
He's a child that never grew up.
Yeah,
literally.
He does.
He's the same fucking 4-year-old that I grew up with.
Yeah, Goku doesn't. But the Goku's story isn't about him changing. It's about him changing the world around him.
And like, why does he have fucking kids?
I don't know. We don't even know how they happen technically.
Everyone knows Piccolo is the real dad of Gohan.
Yes, that's why I love DBZA.
And I love the fucking memes, like Father's Day memes of Gohan giving Piccolo gifts and shit.
Yeah.
But Naruto is great. Naruto has tons of interesting characters in different arcs.
Okay, we'll see that all that's true, but okay, we'll see. No, my argument was the cyclical nature of new bad guy, get beat, come back with new power, new bad guy, get beat, come back with new power is exactly the same between Bleach and Naruto. Huh?
It doesn't. I can see that, but for whatever reason, it doesn't feel the same. Maybe it's because there's more character development in Naruto. I feel like in Bleach, it's almost like Freak of the Week, like Power Rangers style. Here's a little bit of story about them. Some of them might be interesting, but who gives a fuck?
I would say that Bleach is
interesting.
Yeah,
I think Kubo is at heart an artist and not a writer.
Oh yeah,
I think that's the problem. He likes to draw cool shit. He said that he likes to draw cool shit. That's why fucking Ichigo has like 86 different forms. They're cool. That's fine. You see him like literally once sometimes, right?
Yeah.
The form in which he beat Aizen in never comes back again.
No, the Mugetsu does not. No.
And his hollow form like gets thrown away completely too, right?
No, not technically, because after he uses the or do you mean his full hollow or the mask? Well, once he becomes more fused with it, then he doesn't need it anymore. He doesn't.
And Fullbring.
Fullbring was throwaway because it was his reset to show that he still had power. But I loved, actually, that's one of the better things about when he does get his power back. And Rukia's telling Ginjo, she's like, "You think you took his power? That Fullbring was literally the tip of the fucking iceberg of his true power. You took nothing. You took a shadow of who he fucking really is. You think you're powerful? Just wait till this fucking transformation's done, asshole." So that's one of the better parts of that. So even though he was robbed of his powers or gave them up, everybody who learned to like him gave him back powers the same way. But then, of course, later on in the 1,000-Year Blood War, his Bankai gets broken, and then he finds the truth of his actual powers. That's where I actually really enjoyed that story, is when they got deeper into it.
Yes, I think by that point it was so much
bullshit. Yeah, no, you're right. You're right.
If you cut all that shit out, it would have been. I wouldn't. And I know it's not just a me thing. It's a
no. You're right.
Widely community opinion that fucking Bleach became awful.
Well, here's the thing: you have to realize the entire Bleach story takes place in like a year and a half. You don't have 15 years of development. You have a year and a half of development. Ichigo is only 16 by the end of it.
He's super bland.
But that's the point. He is. Well, the funny thing is, like,
it was like he has no motivation. Like he has no self-drive. He's just a reactionary thing.
It's true.
Everything.
It's true.
And I feel like he never develops it. He never be like, all right, I've been reacting to everything from up to this point. Like, this is who I am. This is what I want. This is what I'm going to get. I feel like I never got that from him.
No, you're right. I agree with that. That he.
It's a wet blanket.
He is a wet blanket for sure.
A very powerful wet blanket.
He's a very powerful wet blanket surrounded by other wet blankets. But he would be the Goku of that. I mean, his only motivation, you're right, is reacting to a friend getting taken. And that's essentially all it comes down to. Until it comes down to, oh, this motherfucker will actually destroy everything if I don't stop it. Which that pushes it up into the Dragon Ball Z area. Even though the 1,000-Year Blood War was actually a nice, a good arc, just ended terribly. But it was the Madara problem. Like, oops, we built a god. How do we kill a god? It's like, my bad. Like, Kubo wrote himself into a corner. So what ass pull do I need to end this god? And that was bullshit. But
Yeah, that's one thing that is an issue with shonen manga and anime in general. It's the power escalation, power creep. Like,
yeah, always.
and like, and that's why I always love Gurren Lagann. They just took it and ran with it. It's like, we're gonna make this shit the size of a fucking galaxy that's gonna throw galaxies around and
we're
not apologize for it.
We're slamming two galaxies together to make a giant ball of energy attack. That somehow a single planet can watch this battle happen in the sky. We're ignoring that. We're ignoring that entirely. Realistically, they would have they had to have been fighting way, way, way further away because there's no way they're fighting in Earth's orbit.
And they wouldn't have seen it till like millions and millions and millions of years after it happened because of light travel.
Yeah, unless it's literally being projected into the sky. Actually, no, wait, wait.
They were actually an alternate universe. They created a universe to fight in.
But I was going to say, I think, didn't the anti-spiral guy literally say, I want to show your people how you get defeated? So maybe he was projecting so that everybody could see. So that's why they could see it.
But like literally, the fucking theme song is "Do the impossible, see the invisible."
Yeah.
That the name. That is the motto of the show. Is like, fuck it, we're gonna drill through this shit.
Yeah. And
I think there's a difference of like doing that shit on purpose versus writing yourself in a corner, which a lot of I feel like shonen does.
Oh, they always do, yeah. And then if they don't have a set ending, they always write themselves into a corner.
Except for One Piece, somehow.
So they can't find the ending of One Piece. That's why.
Yeah, exactly. Still looking for that.
I feel like there will be no ending to One Piece.
Are you a fan of Berserk at all?
I know of it, but I've never seen it.
That's another thing. I'm like, I don't know how this is going to keep going. I mean, it's still fucking amazing, even though he only comes out with one chapter a year nowadays. But
I didn't even realize it was still going.
No one can guess the ending to that shit because we have a man against a god.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like a lot of people are saying, like, they don't have to fight. Just because you're used to endings being a climactic battle doesn't mean every story has to have a climactic battle. You can have a story where a guy just walks away.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, that's kind of how Gurren Lagann ended. There was a final battle, but in the end, Shimon just walked away to go live his life after going through hell.
And like the kid is like, I don't know who you are. He's like, that's fine. I'm old man now. That's the next generation doing their thing. But that was also another theme of the show. Is like leave something behind for the next generation.
Exactly.
Like you got some shit from the last generation. Do what you can. Leave something for the next, and just keep going.
Yeah.
I love that show. That's like.
So wait, IBO in that aspect was actually very similar to Gurren Lagann.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Except we're not talking about the fact that there were children fucking in a robot. They were children. That's okay. She got pregnant. We're not going to think about that.
It's a weird. I mean, not weird. It's interesting cultural differences with Japan and America.
That's true.
Because like everything, like it not bothers me, but like it does get. As I get older, it is tiresome sometimes where the protagonists are always like fucking 13, 14-year-olds when I'm like, maybe a 13-year-old, 14-year-old and Japanese kid is very different from a 13, 14-year-old American kid. Because I've, even myself as a 13, 14-year-old, there's no way I would do any of this shit. Or knew anyone who was like fucking intelligent or even to do this shit. But apparently all these anime kids are 14. But it's a cultural thing because like you see a college student or someone in the mid-20s, like people call them old man, and it's a funny joke all the time. But like, I guess that's just how the culture is. Like you become old once you're not a kid anymore.
They're raised quicker in a way with the education system and things like that. Yeah. Actually, you know what?
They'll call you G-san, like
exactly,
which is like granddad.
Yeah. You know what's one of my favorite anime series that has nothing to do with mecha or anything like that is Beck.
I have not watched that or read that.
Okay. It's so normal up until a point, and it's just great. I mean, it's a slice of life to some degree, just revolving around a band, and then there's random weird shit that's never answered, like the weird Frankenstein dogs. That's it. That's all it is. It's like they name themselves after a weird Frankenstein dog named Beck that nobody knows where he came from, and then later on we find another one. And we're like, wait. We're not even going to address the weird Frankenstein dogs? No, we're just going to keep making our music. Now,
that's not That's not the point of the show. Who
No,
cares about
it's
it?
not. Now,
But
I will,
as like
yeah. So I will
I,
tell you, if you can find the original version of the show,
Mhm.
watch that one because they had to change it later because they were using Beatles songs. So they had to actually alter the later release. So the DVD release that I bought that came with the cool speaker box to keep it in, uh, does not finish with the same songs that the original did. And I was like, I can't watch this. I can't. I was like, it's not the same. It doesn't carry on the same. It's not even the same fucking song. I was like, they had to redo it with a non-Beatles song.
I'm sure I can find the original to download somewhere.
If you can, I liked it. I really liked it because
I like things of all genres. I like anime, but like I like anime of all genres. It's not just like shonen stuff that I like. Like I said, I like manga, which is just like a cute story about like these kids in high school.
Mhm.
I like Paradise Kiss, which is about I like a lot of shoujos, like traditionally like girl animes and stories towards girls. Like I like those. I like the romance stories. I like fucking the Orange High School Host Club. It's fucking hilarious. That show.
See, I know of a lot versus haven't seen as many because I think like there's so many. Like I try to pick like if I can, I'll watch the newest biggest shonen thing because it's easy and accessible. I'm still working my way through. I think I'm on season 4 of My Hero that's on.
I have not watched the newest season because I wait for the whole season.
Yeah, I'm just trying to I'm trying to figure out where I'm at. He's just gone to work with Night Eye.
Do you watch All Might versus One for All? I mean,
Yeah,
All for One?
that's already happened. Yeah.
Yeah. So like I'm shortly past. I'm where they started training with the new heroes, like the phase through wall guy.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. So we're roughly in the same spot. So
because that's when the next season starts. So I haven't started that next season.
Okay. So
I heard it's good, so I need to do that. But I'm on One Piece now.
Yeah. So
dude, I'm only 200 episodes from catching up. 150.
Jesus Christ.
Dude, One Piece is fucking good. I mean, that's a reason why it's still around as still like the most popular fucking thing after 30 years.
Yeah.
In Japan and fucking.
It's stayed consistent.
It's top sales for 30 years in a row.
It's top 1, 2, or 3, just depending on who the other top is. Because it was Bleach, Naruto, One Piece for the longest time, and then those two are essentially gone. We're not counting Boruto.
I mean, Bleach died off before it ended, though. Naruto didn't die off till Naruto ended.
Yeah, that's true. That's what I was getting at. That's why I'm not
and
counting
we have
this.
One go like Demon Slayer is good, it's great, and then but it's more like the new hotness versus there's no more staying power than One Piece.
Yeah, right? You don't have another other than Dragon Ball. You do not have another 30-year legacy show.
Right, and Dragon Ball is not that good, nor is it thought of that way. It's as popular as it is. Like I would think most Dragon Ball fans wouldn't tell you that it's a fucking great piece of media.
Although the Super Anime did in the last couple of battles, the Super Anime were good.
I mean, anime eye candy is always good, right?
Yeah, like the most expensive episodes.
You don't have substance.
Yeah, but it's funny, and I've watched a lot of video essays on this, and like, now I'm totally convinced that Frieza was basically the best character out of Dragon Ball Super. Like,
I'm not sure if I've caught up enough
character wise from the anime.
And Super.
Yeah, like
I know I know he like they need him to help at some point. That's all I know.
Okay. So you haven't gotten to the universe survival. Okay.
No, because I've basically just the movies. Where,
okay. So
where they fucking beat his golden form down. Again.
Yeah. So from where Frieza started in Z as just Space Napoleon Hitler, you know, getting basically humbled repeatedly, not to mention being killed by a kid from the future with a sword.
Easily.
God damn, he got beat so
embarrassing.
He got beat so that means that like Trunks was so much stronger, even in his crappy base Super Saiyan, than Goku maxed out was on Namek.
Yeah, because he's been training as a Super Saiyan. Goku just turned Super Saiyan
at the time. Yeah, you're right.
And that's always how you show power, right? In a narrative wise, you show someone real strong getting beat real easily.
Yeah, exactly. But then, so if we're going from that point to the occasional being popped up in hell on a side story, Frieza stayed the same until Resurrection of F. So gets brought back, and then he trains for the first time ever so that he gets his stronger golden form, and then he gets fucking just slammed by Goku and Vegeta,
Mm-hmm.
and technically Whis, if we're honest.
Yeah.
'Cause-
Yeah.
And then when he comes back again in later in Super, so yeah, they need somebody else for their team. They need a certain, they need like 10 teammates, and Majin Buu decided he wanted to take a nap instead of helping.
Which is characteristic of him. I don't blame him.
But
I like Boo.
yeah, but if you haven't watched that far, Boo actually decides to train as well to get stronger to help. So we actually get a slim Majin Buu for a little while.
Oh shit.
So
Okay, not whatchamacallit, not
yeah,
the other
not
Boo.
Super Buu, not Super
Yeah.
Buu, but Majin Buu actually slims down and he's training, which is pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie.
No, Dragon Ball is fucking amazing if you already like Dragon Ball. That's the secret.
Exactly.
That's
Don't
the
try
secret.
to.
I love Dragon Ball.
Yeah, with no history, it's not good to anybody.
I have a problem with Frieza becoming. I guess I don't know if he becomes a good guy, but like
N-
that's a certain thing you don't get redemption for.
No,
Like,
Frieza becomes a less bad guy.
yeah, but like there's still no redemption for that.
Yeah.
He was a genocidal maniac.
But he's still a selfish piece of shit. And he still hates Goku, still hates Vegeta, but he actually gets real character development for him.
Mm-hmm. Which is fine. Like I'm not a fan of villains, but I'm not against villains either. In that they should have an arc.
Yeah, he has
I can like a villain without being a fan of it. If that makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. But he's not like an anti-hero or anything like that.
Exactly. I don't want that.
He comes in, they have to get him, so he gets granted the same way Goku did. We give you 1 day to come back to the world of the living to help. So they have to bring him back through Baba. He's got the halo and all that. But the conversation that he and Goku have in the other world, because I don't know if you remember, Frieza's prison is basically being strapped in a cocoon to a cherry blossom tree in a super happy fun time world, and he so fucking hates it. It's amazing. So Goku and Frieza have a real talk conversation for the first time ever while they're still there. And he's like, "Look, we'll bring you back, but you have to help us." And he's like, "Well, if I help you, you gotta resurrect me." And he's like, "Well, if I resurrect you, are you gonna turn around and do this?" And he goes, "Well, that's who I am." And Goku said, basically, he's like, "Well, then you know what I'll have to do. And if you want to end up here again, this is what it's going to be." Kind of. They have a real talk conversation. And normally Goku is the idiot.
Yeah, he doesn't talk. I mean,
No.
he doesn't talk well.
No. And this is one of the first times ever, and I get chills thinking about it, because he gets serious and he really is straightforward with Frieza. But then when they do bring him back, he spends the first 10 minutes of being alive again fucking fighting Goku, like basically trying to betray him. And Goku have to spend that time. So they're sizing each other up. He sucker punches him in the gut. He gets sucker punched right back. And then they immediately have to fight on each other's side because a whole bunch of fucking mercenaries get sent to kill them from another universe. Or at least kill Frieza, because they know that Frieza's another trump card. And
definitely don't watch. And I heard the quality got better too, because the animation quality I heard was real bad at the beginning.
It was yeah, they didn't have the time to make it look good. The channel Totally Not Mark actually went back and with a couple of his buddies who can really draw anime stuff, reanimated or at least redrew the worst scenes from Super, and made them on character and everything, on model, and yeah, just single frames, mind you, but still took some of the most garbage frames and fixed them. But after watching his video essays, Goku is just Goku. He's always going to be Goku. Vegeta is evolving slowly as a character, especially even now, as he's really trying to surpass Goku because he can't do Ultra Instinct, so you have to do something else. So now he's got to find his own way. He even says, "Look, I can't beat you at your game, so I'm going to find my way to be better than you."
Finally, I mean, that's what what's his face told him. Cat face told him. It's like, look, you keep fucking following his coattail, man. You got to do your
own thing. Yeah, exactly. And so that's where, and then having Vegeta find another reason to be better other than his own pride, which he gets with the Universe 6 Saiyans, especially with Kaba. He decided to be better now, and then Jiren is just the wall that everybody needs to beat. He's like literally the pointless wall that is
This plot, just for plot.
Yeah, but they try to give him character development. It doesn't necessarily work, but it also gives Frieza his best moment ever, right near the end of the final battle. Like as a character, Frieza's best moment.
Yeah.
Aside from the Broly movie where they dump.
I love Broly, and as much as I talk about, I like depth and all that shit. Broly is my favorite character. My favorite Dragon Ball character.
New Broly or original Broly?
Any Broly.
Just Broly. Okay.
Yeah, Lady Broly, any Broly.
Lady Broly, yes.
I just fucking love, like, yeah. I mean, he's not evil. He's just a fucking force of nature of destruction and hate and anger. And I resonate with that shit.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like shit sometimes, and he's really good at it, and that's what he does.
But that's why New Broly is better.
Broly. And New Broly is better, and I love New Broly. I just don't like his leggings.
I agree with that.
I like old Broly's costume. I wish New Broly is just like the armor, but with the old outfit underneath.
I think I
like the cat ear cape. Like he has so much more character development. I mean, he had like a basic character,
an actual story.
Yeah. Now he has a more. It's basically the same story, but more fleshed out
and more personality.
And canon. I was always upset because my favorite character that didn't exist.
Yep. And he's got a waifu.
Oh yeah. A
cute little yellow.
Explain that his Super Saiyan is not the same as a regular Super Saiyan?
They haven't yet, but they will eventually.
Yeah, he's not a regular Super Saiyan. He's like he was born a Super Saiyan, basically, right? He's
more or less.
He's like green and shit. It's like he's what the legend. Well, depends on how far you go back with the legend, because the original Super Saiyan is actually just Bardock.
Actually, not. Well, okay, yeah. I'm thinking Super Saiyan God. Yeah. I was thinking the original Super Saiyan God. No, the original. Well, actually, he's the original Super Saiyan. Yeah.
It's just Bardock traveled back in time, turned Super Saiyan for the first time, which was never known before.
Yeah, but then it's now canon.
Beat up Frieza's fucking ancestor, and that's where the fucking thing
legend
comes from.
Yeah. No, I've seen that.
All Saiyans can turn Super Saiyan. Basically, it's just that he was the first one to activate it.
Yeah, it's just like who. Yeah, all Saiyans can turn Super Saiyan with the right motivation and strength level and things like that. But it's just that, and they've also sort of the way the Universe 6 ones change is so funny. You feel the tingling sensation in your back, and then you just let it go. It's like, what the fuck? Like, forget the. I think even Vegeta had that reaction. He's like, seriously, what the fuck? But technically, they're different. It's a different universe.
Different universe. It's a different timeline. They evolve differently. Parallel.
But
like Broly is different. It's always been different. Even as the introduction as in the movies, like he was the legendary Super Saiyan. He doesn't look the same.
And Kale is that universe is Broly.
Yeah.
So
it's Lady Broly.
Yeah, Lady Broly, and she has the same kind of power. So we know that canonically, someone can access that level of power. Whether it's maybe it's another form of Super Saiyan Rage, like Trunks can do, and we've seen later. But we always see that associated with blue, never with the normal yellow. So imagine Super Saiyan Rage, but in normal base Super Saiyan.
It feels like it was a born legendary status thing, because like at birth, I mean they try to kill Broly because at birth he was stronger than like anything.
Everybody,
an infant.
But his power would fluctuate. Remember, because he had like 10,000 and then 20.
Yeah, but like he was born different. Like he was special.
Yeah, he's like an unstable reactor. It's like he just gets these amazing spikes, but with no training. So what? But if you paid attention in the Broly movie, the new one,
he was fighting the god forms of Vegeta, Goku in base form.
But if you paid attention to when they transformed, they glinted green as they were going through their levels. So they were hinting at that even these guys on their way up could do it. So imagine if they had another form that wasn't blue, but it was green, so to speak. Just
you get strong enough to break the universe like they did in the Broly movie. Like they fought so hard, like that fucking broke reality, basically.
Yeah. Like literally, what the hell is this?
Yeah, we're in a whole other dimension fighting.
Yeah, and also so Broly canon and Gogeta canon.
Yep.
Even though I'm not a fan of the new Gogeta design, I like the old one slightly better. But maybe they'll work on that. And we're not even talking about superheroes. That's the wonkiest shit of all time.
The Saiyaman?
Huh?
What, are you talking about Saiyaman?
No. I'm talking about the Heroes anime from the game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No. That is, oh my god, dude. Like, just what the fuck? It's just like every Dragon Ball nerd's wet dream of, hey, what if we did this? What if we did this?
Yep.
So you actually get Super Saiyan 4, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta from Time Force or whatever. It's like, but then, hey, what if we actually did it this way as well? It's like, I think they even attempted Super Saiyan 4 Vegito. It's just like, it's like, okay.
There was this art of Super Saiyan 4 fucking Broly. But like with this whole multiverse thing now, like I guess GT is somewhat canon.
It can be, sort of.
Well, listen, like, no, fuck you. Even in the multiverse, GT doesn't exist.
Yeah. Well, maybe it's one of the universes that got destroyed.
Yeah, that's true.
We gotta hope.
Shitty. It's like, fucked up.
I mean, if they can make Super Saiyan 4 work in universe, fine. But then again, Broly's base form, when his eyes go gold and he's just raging and stupid powerful, they're claiming that maybe that's about Super Saiyan 4, but in a space where they say Super Saiyan 4 is the true Super Saiyan anyways. So, or harnessing the power of the Uzaru form, but in normal form. Yeah. So that's why
without losing your shit.
Yeah. So that is Super Saiyan 4. You know, from GT. That's what it was. Just getting your shit together. So, I mean, so hopefully down the line we get more Broly back in the new series, whenever that may be, as they continue on down this ridiculous road where they're fighting this other guy.
I mean, it knows what it is. Dragon Ball knows what it doesn't take itself seriously. It knows it's just gonna go down this fucking crazy ass road, and it's fine. And like, obviously we love it, right? and it's obviously good in the respect that we're passionately talking about Dragon Ball.
Mm-hmm.
But in the same breath, we can both say it's not good.
It's not good.
It's a weird thing, isn't it? It's like, I fucking love it. It's amazing to me, but it's not good.
Well, it's a
hard to explain feeling. There's not many things like that in the world for me other than Dragon Ball.
It's McDonald's. It's
Wow,
definitely it's garbage.
But I would recommend McDonald's to anybody, any day.
But you know, it's crap.
It's not good for you.
It's not good for you, and it's generally not that good.
And it'll make you feel bad after you eat it.
Yeah.
And you go back for more.
And you go back for more. It's like Dragon Ball. It's the McDonald's of shonen anime. But you still hate Bleach.
Yeah.
This fucker.
You know what comes from is the letdown. If something was I don't hate Divers because I never expected much and it was never much.
Yeah.
But because Bleach was good and it was such a letdown that it makes me angry.
It was a drop off. I understand. Yeah. No, I get it. I saw past it.
Right, as a fan of, because I feel like I wasted a lot of time on it. Right, it's what it is. Like I spent years on it. Like even when it was not good, week after week I read it. Like it's gonna get better. It was great. It's gonna get better. It's gonna be. I mean, eventually I fell off, but that was not after. I feel like I wasted 3 years of following it.
I guess. If you see, see what is that saying? It's like, if you enjoyed the time you wasted, was it a waste of time?
I didn't enjoy it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you didn't.
No, that's the problem. Like I was waiting for it to get good again. That whole time I was not. Even the art fell off. There was like sloppy as fuck.
Yeah, he was having issues. Yeah.
Where he was just fucking slapping ink on paper.
Yeah.
And like, because even when sometimes it wasn't the best writing or with anything, if the art is good, that's something to look at. But there was a point where you read it, you can't even tell what's going on.
Yeah.
Because it's just messy.
I agree. Well, he always hated drawing full pages anyways. He liked drawing characters with super minimal backgrounds. So he went back to that at the end, so there's that.
Yeah.
And hey, the anime is coming back. So there's that.
Yeah, that's that too, which is weird that it's having a resurgence, even though it's widely regarded as not a good thing. But I guess
I think it's because
my wife likes watching Bleach. Like
I think it's going to be the redemption deal. I think it's literally like, look, we know the end fucking sucked and you hated where we stopped. This will be our chance to fix that.
Hopefully.
And that's what I want.
Money into it, that it's got to have some level of quality, I would hope.
Well, for me, I just really want to see Yamamoto's Bankai animated.
But the problem also is a lot of some of the anime filler arc contradicts with what happens with the manga at the end.
Yeah,
Because like
we don't
they
go
had
with
a
that.
manga, they have a Bankai like side arc in the anime. I know that.
Oh
But
yeah, that's weird.
it's not what the Bankais ended up being in the story.
No, yeah, there's weird. Well, filler in and of itself sucks. Which, speaking of fall off and getting bad, that I didn't think Naruto was ever going to get good again because it had a year of straight filler in the
Yeah,
anime. So I
yeah.
actually quit watching until they got to Shippuden.
I stopped watching a long, like yeah, around I went once I started reading, I just didn't go back to watching.
Yeah, because I was reading it to some degree at
I
that
was so
point.
ahead. I was so ahead at that point. It wasn't,
Yeah,
so
yeah. So I already knew where it was supposed to do the time skip. And
yep.
so once they hit that part, and then I watched probably 3 filler arcs, which is, they were short, but like I think after the really dumb one where they like try to get the bug that could sniff out Sasuke, I'm like, I'm fucking done. One, because they didn't end that particular arc the right way, in my opinion. Naruto farted and then the bug just followed him around forever, just sniffing his ass. Personally, I wanted it to be the bug did get on the headband, did smell it, but in the midst of the battle, leaves, and they assume that it died, and then you see the bug find Sasuke.
Mm.
That would have been a way better. That would have been
Much
That would have been so much fucking better. I was like, come on. It's like I know this is filler garbage, but it's important filler garbage. And
yeah, you can make it good at least, even if it's filler. Just because it's something that's filler doesn't mean it has to be bad or throwaway.
no, and that's why I think like where it should. I mean, there was filler before the end, and then there was a filler post the end, and then like okay, just get to the time skip because none of this really matters, especially the ninja ostrich bullshit. I definitely didn't need that arc.
There's also like 40 something odd fucking Naruto movies that I didn't watch.
I saw a couple of them and they weren't terrible.
It's just so many of them. They just churn them out. It feels like.
Well, it turned into the Dragon Ball Z movies. Like, oh, are we going to end this with the Kamehameha or the Spirit Bomb? So it was it, it was exactly the same. I was like, okay, what variation of the Rasengan is Naruto going to win this with? Oh, we get the Rainbow Chakra one. Oh, we get. Uh, Actually, I will say the one movie that ended where he technically got to meet his dad briefly and fight alongside his dad without knowing who he was. That was actually pretty nice. I'm not gonna
They
lie.
did that again in Boruto, didn't they? Don't the
It
Boruto travel back in time or some shit like that? I didn't watch any of Boruto.
I have not gotten that far. Yes, Boruto with Sasuke technically ends up transporting back to when Naruto was young. So we get more stuff with Jiraiya. We get more. We didn't go that far back to Minato, but you get to see him interacting with his dad as a kid at the same age. We get Jiraiya again. We get a little bit more backstory. I think I don't know all of it, and I don't want to spoil myself on it because I do want to see it. Because I stopped watching the anime when it got into filler. I was like, it's like, dude, the manga was already so far ahead. I'm like, why couldn't you just do straight anime? It made no sense.
I don't get it. I don't get it. It's sometimes it's just milking for money. Because I know some episodes of One Piece, like literally, like the story proper title card doesn't start till 6 minutes in.
I'm okay with that actually.
And like some episodes, depending on where you are, like if you're in the climactic part, like the episode is like fucking 12 minutes of content.
Yeah.
Out of 26, it's like wow.
There was
Dragon Ball Kai.
Yeah.
Cut out the bullshit.
Cut out the bullshit. So actually, Re-Rise does that in a couple episodes right near the end of the first season, and then one episode or 2 episodes of the new season. They literally do almost a full 26-minute episode. It's like they don't do it. They do an intro, but they don't break for the music or the title cards. They just run the credits at the bottom, and then they're just going into the content, and then they keep going even through the closing credits.
Wow.
So the music and the credits are rolling, but you're not cutting away from what's happening until like the very, very end. So you actually get like almost a solid 20 minutes of episode because they're just like, we gotta pack this shit in here. And that's one reason I really liked Re-Rise versus the other is that they really give you a ton of content. There's not a lot of filler. There's some stuff where it's like, okay, dumb side mission, but it always really matters somehow.
There's actually content to it.
There's real content to it. And when you think, like, all the characters, when they first get introduced, are all surface level.
Mm-hmm.
And then they develop them and you see more about who they are and why they are. And there's actual development. Whereas regular divers didn't have that.
No,
Like,
it was a bunch of wet blankets.
yeah, well, they were all kids, and like I
Yeah,
said, that was the view of the world through a kid's eyes.
yeah,
Dealing with adult problems as a kid would deal with them emotionally and kind of reactionary.
yeah, and like a little bratty, which I guess makes sense if
Yeah,
you put yourself in that shoes.
yeah. So,
But
and
I wish they would just go back to fighters, but I guess they're never going. I mean, it's
it's
so long.
I'm so
They
pissed
won't.
that they didn't give
Like,
us the crossover shit they were supposed to.
I mean, there's so much more to explore in that world. Like, you never, you don't get to see. You don't get to see Reiji's fucking homeworld. That they just fucking he just kind of pieced out with that girl, and then you never hear from them again. I'm like, dude,
Until the
I
movie,
want actual coming of say, return,
the return
second,
of Reggie. Yeah,
like Josh, second coming of Reiji.
yeah, exactly. But
But yeah,
actually,
there's more
what?
to that world you can explore. But I haven't watched Island Wars yet, and I didn't. And
Okay, Island Wars is everything wrong with the series,
okay, so it's good I didn't watch it.
but it does continue the story
Yeah.
because it is a time skip from the first. There's a very important character, but you don't find out exactly who that character is until the very end, and then you go, God damn it! Like we want.
And you hear about like the original fighters,
Yeah.
but like you don't really interact with them again, which is I guess is
Well,
fine.
they
But
do, but because
you
what's
send him his parts.
yeah. Well, there's the Nils Nilsson. He's involved in the movie because it's
Yeah,
at his facility.
Nielsen with his fucking Son Goku Stray. Oh, what a kit! What a design!
Oh yeah, that was the other. We were trying to figure out all the Build Divers MGs that were made. That was one of them. Okay, we forgot about that one.
That's the wing recon. Yes, though, right? Was that made into a
Yes,
wing Fenice? Wing Fenice
the
was
Fenice Renasta was MG. The
Build Strike.
Build Strike. The Build Mark II.
Yes.
The why they never gave us the amazing Zaku made no sense because that was an easy one.
Yeah, just one kit basically.
Yeah.
Or Camp for Amazing also.
Camp for Amazing. Well, you already said they weren't doing enough Camp for stuff.
Camp for so old anyway at that point.
The Amazing Red Warrior does a really phenomenal kit too.
Yeah, they came out around the same time as 3.0, right? Gundam 3.0.
Oh wait, way after technically, because it's based off the 2.0 like everything else is in the world. It's actually really funny how many kits are based off of the Gundam, considering the universe, and how many things are based off the Gundam.
Right.
They literally are doing it in real life. But no, with Island Wars, how do I put this? They make magic happen in a way. You also see a lot more side effects of playing around with the Plavsky particle and crystal technology. You do get a semi-sentient Gunpla that is terrorizing the world. And you get the most ridiculous ass pull you've ever seen out of this fucking series. Given the technology, and here's the... We'll leave out...
Technology is magic, you know?
It is magic. However, here's my problem that they've never shown on screen. And I've mentioned this many times on my channel. So, you build your Gunpla. The techniques you use, the way you build it, all matter towards its durability and its abilities in fighting.
Mm-hmm.
What they never show you or talk about is the programming of the thing, so that you program what it can do.
A beam rifle versus a fucking Gatling gun or something.
And how do you have eye fields that work? How do you have any of the movement capabilities, controls, the selecting the special moves and all that? Seriously, fighting with giant glowing balls with imaginary buttons. How the fuck do you do that? Anyways, and piloting it, just go forward. It's like, what's the difference between go forward and punch?
I always thought it was more like a Gurren Lagann system, where it's like really your thought. Like it's just kind of reading your thought or what your intentions are. Because Gurren Lagann only has 2 fucking handles.
Yeah.
That's all they...
It didn't have pedals, right?
I don't think so. I think it has 2 handles and a trigger on it. I think that was all there is to it.
And some buttons occasionally. But yeah, no, that was more of a... well, so with fighters... Some of the movement does matter because it's how you get the especially with what's his face Sekai. He's a martial artist, so he can trying to do martial arts moves. So he's sort of doing them with the thing. So you have to have some kind of mocap to capture what he's doing, along with special moves that are programmed to buttons and things like that. But okay, I'll just tell you. So you're probably not going to watch it. They develop. So in between the end of Try and then the movie, they try to develop the super mega ass pool technique utilizing the Kamiki Burning's special ability. So you never get to see it at the end of the series because it's on screen for about 2 seconds, right? His newest version. Right. So along with the RG system so with the RG system it already had to really, have the particle flow and all that stuff.
Yeah.
They give it the ability to absorb particles and use them as extra weapons. However, it's converting other Gunpla, especially its teammates, into particles to be used to attack. So how the fuck do you program that?
Yeah.
So they use it a couple times in the movie to do just a big attack. Like they transport into energy, they go into a certain limb, and then they attack with potentially an elemental attack.
Right.
The super mega ass pool. So everybody who's with them, all the people that they've brought along, all the friends they made throughout the series, all end up on their side, right? Everybody gets involved in this final battle. They're fighting the Scramble Gundam, which is uber powered with the Plavsky particle or Plavsky crystal 2. So the new version. That's how it accidentally gains sentient and becomes super powerful and starts affecting the world around it. So not only are they fighting, it's almost like the final battle where like the crystal takes over and the whole arena changes.
Everything was animated.
Yeah, so this is what happens on this island, which is why it's Island Wars. So they're conveniently there like a Pokemon movie. And it is. It's like Pokemon movie 2000. They just happen to be there and this shit happens. So he opens up this particle gate and all of his friends fly through it. They turn into their own colored particle stream that he absorbs. Goes into each of his limbs. And then they can finally activate the full version of their super mega ass pull. It no joke, summons a giant magical ring symbol underneath the thing, like literally with the unicorn in the middle, the stars and all that shit, just like Full Metal Alchemist.
Yeah.
And each one has its elemental symbol, and then from this thing comes the fucking Dragon Caesar, if you know what that is.
Mm-mm.
So from one of the SD series, it's like one of their gods.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, first of all, let's just talk about the fact that somehow they convert a thing to energy. Fine. It's just not actually happening. You're just seeing it happen. But the fact that they would have to have built said Gunpla
in this form.
Yeah.
It has to already exist.
Yeah. It'd have to be something that truly exists. And I'm like, so wait, you just park this ginormous fuck over here? Because it's like a mega size.
Yeah.
In this case. So, like, and then they don't even beat it with, like, a special attack or anything. They punch it with a giant hand and stuff. So, it's so fucking ridiculous. I'm like, I think you guys missed the point of your own series to some degree.
Maybe that's why it was a one-off movie.
Yeah, but hopefully that's not what killed it, man. But, I mean, it was awesome to see the Dragon Caesar come on the screen.
Right.
But it's just like, are they really? It's like... And Sekai was controlling it. Like, so they went a little Gurren Lagann with it. Like, we're going to summon our ultimate form, kind of. And, like, you literally have the Scramble Gundam, and I've made memes for it. That moment when you know you're really fucked up is like, you see a panic on a robot's face, kind of. Because it's flying away, like, fuck. And then just a giant fucking hand coming after him. And, like, grabs him by the fucking ankle. It's just like... It was a fun moment, but also like a seriously, what the fuck moment.
Yeah, I mean, I can see why you wouldn't have more fighters after that. Because, like, there's nowhere to go from there.
No, but that was what they were trying to do because building up to the world tournament that they were going to finally. Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, okay.
There's a waste of potential.
And so the little girl that was inciting most of this, so random little girl shows up on this island. And then the Gunpla starts reacting the way it did. So her feelings and stuff were reacting with that Plavsky crystal, causing it to do the things. So at one point you see it hovering near her like a fairy, like it's taking her orders, so to speak. She's not doing it on purpose, but her presence caused it to happen. Wild guess who this little girl is.
Who? You tell me.
Reggie and Isla's daughter.
Oh, I mean, that would be the go-to guess, but like, how is she there?
Same way the Reggie was there. Teleported in via Plavsky crystal.
Why?
Because she leaves in the same way. So
so they can come and go as they please?
As long as there's Plavsky crystals on both places.
Then why did Reggie never come back?
Because there wasn't a stable Plavsky crystal around in the same way. Because you got to remember the one that the giant one that they had that they were breaking off, that was like the one. So there was hardly anything left on their colony. So the one he had on his wrist and the one he gave to Say were the only real Plavsky crystals they had left. So all the time gap, however many years it's been, 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
They finally had enough crystal left, or regained rather, on the colony. That's what it was. See, this is the fucked up part about Try, or even Fighters. Oh yeah, because it was in original Fighters. When he first met Reggie, and Raul thought he was strange. The first thing out of his mouth is he from the colonies. And then when you finally see, I forgot the name, what it was called, it is legit a colony. You see the curve, you see the sky through the screens. He's literally on a fucking colony that people don't know exists except for fucking Raul. I was like, what? It's like, how does this old dude know what's going on?
He could come from there. Who knows?
Yeah. And,
with that storyline, instead of I guess, I mean, they're trying to sell kits as Bandai, right? So like, instead of focusing on just fucking power creeping of the kids, like, there's so much story to be told with the people. Like, they go back to that world. They could have Reiji come back. I don't know. I want more of that world.
I know, and it sucks.
More shit, and
I think when Divers is done, they'll go back.
You think so? I hope so. Because Rise is supposed to be good, so I'm gonna.
I'm telling you, it's good.
I'm gonna hold my breath for that. I'm gonna, hope for that. Because like Divers is so bad that I'm like, why did they do this? Why didn't they just keep going with Fighters when Divers is so fucking bad? But if it was to build up to this other great series, that's great. I still want more Fighters.
I will say that where Divers has gone, they went, in a very literal sense, way beyond where the previous Divers series began. And I'll leave it at that. Like, because when you find out the truth of what's happening, it's sort of like, whoa. And it's literally like, they might, I don't know why, but they might be able to kind of pull both universes together.
I mean, that would be good. I'm okay with that.
If they play with it enough, if they stick with the idea they've introduced, they could technically both exist. Technically speaking, it's weird, but they could.
It'll be months away before I get to it, because I'm not gonna watch it till it's over.
It might be months until they come back.
Yeah.
And I'll put it this way: they left it on the episode they did because the next one wasn't gonna be a big episode. So they were supposed to go to.
You don't want to leave off on a meh.
Yeah. So they said they were going to stop at 19, but they stopped at 18. So they had 19, but I guess they went, okay, this is a much more impactful ending. We'll end there. But yeah, no, Diver Re-Rise. We'll just say that Re-Rise, much better a series. I went into it with the same feeling you did. I went into it with zero expectations. Like, okay, the first one sucked. They can't make this better, but I'll have an open mind. Within 2 episodes, I was hooked.
Yeah, because I keep hearing from multiple sources that it's good. Give it a try, even though they don't like Divers. I'm like, all right, enough people tell me one thing, it's got to be some truth to it.
Yeah, because we all know the dumpster fire it was.
Yeah.
So it was a dumpster fire. Now it's good. And like I said, if that was... And older characters. That's the only way around it. They're all older, and they all have trauma, which makes for the best backstories.
It's Gundam.
Yeah, so
Gundam is my trauma, bro.
they're much more real people than the kids in First Divers were. Even though one of them is a kid, or well, younger person.
I mean, I don't hate having kids, in shows. It's
Yeah.
just like it's limited.
Yeah.
You know?
But this one, you've got different age ranges, kind of. They're similar, but their character development is in different levels. They're not all on the same. It's more. You remember Koichi from the first one, the older guy. So he's an adult. He's got more adult mindset. Oh, Tsukasa, that was the guy's name. The one with the no-name ashtray.
Yeah.
So they're ever so slightly involved in this, ever so slightly. But it's a lot more of this is kind of from that adult perspective, especially for the main character Hiroto. I think he's 16. He's whatever later high school is.
Yeah, 16 to 18.
So 16 or 17 over there. He's in school, but we don't see much of that. Like that part of life doesn't matter as much. And then his
yeah. I mean that was good to see of divers that it made it more grounded when you see them fucking going to school and having to do classwork. Like I can't go out; it's nighttime. I have parents and shit.
Yeah.
Okay, I get it. Like it makes more sense why you're acting the way you do because I'm not forgetting that you're a real fucking child.
Exactly. This one does get away from that real world aspect because they are slightly older.
Yeah.
And deals more with the younger adult area. So like, okay, we need to go get a job. So like his best friend ends up getting a job because she just needs to make money. She's still in school, but needs to make money. So she ends up getting a job at the G Cafe that he goes to do his diving. And they've had a rift for a little while. She doesn't know why. They were best friends growing up. They live near each other. Their families are very close. But she went from being like his best friend to him never talking to her. Doesn't know why. And so in that way, she's also trying to stay close to him along with fitting her own needs. And trying to understand.
The thing that bothered me about divers is like this huge, like if that was, just imagine if that was real life.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone would be in there, which it seems like it is.
Yeah.
When you're in the world, it's full of people.
It's Yu-Gi-Oh.
Why is there no, like, every time they go to the Gundam base, it's fucking empty.
I have made that exact fucking... I say that's one room.
Only 6 stations, and only they're in there. There should be lines.
The way
lines out the fucking door.
The way I look at it is that that's one room of like 70. Like,
and is it free? Where are they getting this money?
I said the same fucking thing. It must be free. It must be a utility in that world.
You would charge by the fucking hour for sure if this was real, and people would pay.
I assume there's memberships because they always go to the same places, and I assume that there's multiple rooms, multiple stations. Because same thing happens in this one. You only see Hiroto by himself in the diving room, but also
the Gundam base is accurate. I've been there.
I know that looks just like the Gundam base. Yeah.
The clothing store looks like that. The airbrushing booth, same. There's one room with like a dozen or so.
Yeah.
So like I'm like, wait, so that's just one fucking diving room? I don't. Yeah. But the only thing that was bullshit though, that fucking makes me angry in real life is like yeah, you need this part. You go to injection molding kit and you fucking print that part out. I said, fuck you, Bandai. You don't do that. You don't even sell runners. You can't buy individual runners for parts.
Yeah.
If you're short on a part on a fucking kit, you got to buy a whole other fucking kit. So I don't know why they introduced that idea in that world.
Well, that's not entirely true. You can actually contact Bluefin and they will send you shit you're missing for free. If you've never known that, you can do that.
No, but like I know you can, but like it's fucking process.
No, it is, but
and you can't like for instance, I don't know how familiar with 40K, but you can buy readily available. You can be like, I need an arm, I need a head. You look for it. You can't do that with Gunpla.
No.
Like for my, I want a set of weapons for my Goof custom, like, and it's all on one runner, but I can't get that fucking runner. I can't buy it. I have to buy a whole other fucking kit.
Yeah, unless you find somebody who's partying him out. Well, see, the funny thing is, it's just like IKEA. You go into IKEA and you got a broken shelf. What do to replace your shelf? They open up another one, so now they end up with an entire box of spare parts for other people. So Bandai or Bluefin will do the same thing. They will literally bust down a kit to get you the pieces you need. Okay, so my buddy,
I know I tried years ago. Maybe it's different now, but like I remember it was being so many hoops to go through that it wasn't even fucking worth it.
no, you're right. You are absolutely right. However, now I got to think about it. I think they have that small injection runner ability because my buddy broke the so he was building the MG Providence, um, and he broke part of the faceplate, like this section over here on the side of the face. It's like a whole cheek plate. You can't put the head together without it, kind of. And so he wrote to Bluefin to replace it. And mind you, that's part of a runner.
Yeah.
When he got it, it was its own little individual thing. Like they printed that corner of the runner.
Oh yeah, I mean it depends. It depends on the kit. I know you've seen like some runners together. So they have the ability.
But what I'm saying is, it wasn't like all of the pieces near it. It was by itself on its own little runner. So, because I have it, so he could compete, so he could finish it. I gave him the piece off of mine, and he gave me the piece when it came in, and it was legit like only that big, like on its own. So I think they have that power, but it's not a mass thing. So if it did exist, if G Cafes or I don't know, give us a fucking American Gundam base.
Right?
It's like Bandai of America was a thing forever. They legit could have built a factory fucking in this country and had its own distribution, had its own, like, call it AP Bandai, and had all this shit that we could have always had here. And it's a thing. And we could actually help get it to Europe, because Europe is starving for fucking Gunpla.
Yeah, it's like money on the table. They're not picking up. I don't know why, but I feel like maybe it's a Japan thing because there's multiple companies I feel that way about, and like Japanese companies like are very just more not spread out, just not
kind of nationalist in that manner.
Yeah,
like, keep it like, Japan.
Or they don't realize like how popular the shit is elsewhere. Maybe like they kind of like have their blinds closed to the rest of the world.
I think
for Japan, even though they sell most of the shit somewhere else.
I think that's 100%, but I think it's also the limited thinking of, we'll keep it mostly here and then we'll send a portion to the rest of the world. But then you realize it's like 50-50. It's like 50-50. The rest of the world is at least 50% of your market.
Yeah, and it's fucking weird. I don't understand it.
But I think it's changing. I think with the way Bluefin and Bandai are now together, it's changing how things are done here in America. More mass retail. So you're not having to go to a hobby store, which sucks for hobby stores.
But that's also different with like in Akiba, you can go to, there are certain stores where you can buy used kits off the shelf. Or in baggies, someone just have the shit in a bag, or parts. They would have a leg in a fucking bag, and or like a Toys R Us with
like
pack,
parts. Like a comic book store with their bath box, like
exactly.
So
so I did do that. It's fucking great.
Yeah,
I can imagine because it's easier there because it's concentrated. Akiba is Nerd Town. So
exactly.
Like, where would they have something like that here? I have no idea.
It would have to be
at least have an online store or consignment store or something. You would think.
Well, if it was up to me, which it's not yet, but it might be, because a buddy of mine just got, because our hobby town closed. Like we had like one of the most profitable hobby towns for models and RC in the country, and because its owner was a dumbass, managed to run it into the ground and get it closed. So there was an affiliate in a different part of town, hobby town adjacent, but not a hobby town store. And my buddy did both. He worked RC counter. He developed a huge following in the RC counter, but he's been a modeler for like 30 years. He knows the ins and outs of modeling and now everything. So he had just got a job at this other affiliate store. And he said, hey, I'm going to come over here more than just RC. I want to build up your model selection, because they're mostly RC and trains. That's like their niche.
That's a niche. Yeah. That's a whole other side of the hobby.
Yeah. So he's like, look, if I come here, we're going to do this. And he's like, is there a market for it? And he went, I know at least 300 people. He's like, okay. So that's the kind of place, because it is a hobby store, that I could see that happening. if you got spare runners, if you've got spare bits and pieces, like you did a kit bash and you've got leftover shit, I could see it happening there, either consignment or whatever. Because
Yeah.
I've got I don't about 7 boxes of what I call junkyard.
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah, but
expanded runners. So like the I don't know where
dude,
it is now.
the fucking Faz, you can have so much extra parts.
Oh, the
In Faz.
Faz has so many extra parts. Yeah,
The
the
fucking Andrew Stein has a shit ton of extra parts.
yeah, because it's got normal Sinanju parts and then Stein parts.
Yep.
The amazing Exia and then Dark Matter Exia come with everything to build a regular Exia and some parts to build the Exia R2, and then all of the amazing Exia or Dark Matter parts, depending on which one you got. So there are legit 5 extra runners in that fucking box.
Yep.
And I have both. So I've got like 10 extra runners between just those 2 kits. The Fenice Renasta, same way. It's got some regular wing bits, some wing 0 bits, and then it's regular bits. And so and tons and tons of extra parts, and then IBO stuff. Because you'll buy a Gundam that came with a whole bunch of these other things. Or the Greys. The Greys is my favorite grunt suit.
It's pretty good.
I have all but one. I'm missing one Greys kit. And it was one of the very first ones, and it was P Bandai, and I cannot get it.
It gives us hope that we have P Bandai America now.
Yeah, but getting old kits is going to be the hard part. New stuff makes sense. Older stuff's going to be hard. But it's the Galileo Schwalbe Greys. So after he got it from McGillis and then repainted it purple, it's the only one I'm fucking missing. And a guy picked it up for me in Japan, and then I never managed to get it from him. I don't even know if he still has it. I need to try to hit him up. I just lost contact with the guy. He already bought it for me. He was going to give me some 00 kits, because they're still kind of available there. Here they're iffy. I feel like once this Corona shit blows up, they're just going to be overstock everywhere because of all the things that are just sitting waiting to be shipped.
That's true. Oh, you're gonna be busy.
Well, my wallet will be busy. I mean, I have a significant backlog already, and I'm still buying shit because new stuff's finally trickling.
Are you a Gunpla fan?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, don't fucking talk to me about being a Gunpla fan. You don't have at least 5 kits on the back burner.
That's not
you're not a fucking real fan. You don't have 5 kits on the back burner. Okay.
5 kits is not a backlog.
That's a start. That's when you can start calling yourself a fan.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, well, I mean, I've got Flame Toys kits, I've got Figurized kits, I've got Star Wars kits, on top of all the other new Gunpla. And I'm never trying to keep up with the new stuff because I'm not in Japan or Korea or wherever, so I can't get it day one and get the review out in a day to get the views. I build it when I get to it, and people come to me for my fun opinions and or customs. Like, I've got a ridiculous IBO custom that I've been working on for like 3 years because it's a kit bash of like 8 kits. And I'll send you pics of it so you can see where I'm going.
That's fucking awesome.
I've got bored. I legit
with your 20 kit backlog, get bored. But I get it. Sometimes you just want to fucking mix something.
Well, like for Double October, which is my theme month every year. Mm-hmm. I usually do between 15 and 25 builds for that. And I usually have to crank that out in like a 3-week period.
Wow.
And actually for one of them, I did 26 builds. No. Yeah, 26 builds in 34 days, including a perfect grade.
That's great.
I did perfect grade Exia in 19 hours.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
That took me too long. Because I always build with the idea that I'm gonna paint. So like I fucking I fucking sand everything. Yep. Like it's perfectly prepped. So it takes me days to build one kit.
You were going for quality. I had to go for quantity.
Yeah, like okay.
But here's the thing. So I did
one day, a perfect grade in one day is just fucking crazy idea to me.
And that's with panel lining and that's the lighting edition too. So everything, the whole thing, weapons, all that built in 19 hours. That was a very long 2 days. I think I built till 1 a.m., went to sleep, woke back up to finish the weapons and armor. But that being said, I finished my record currently was 6 HGs in like a day.
That's fucking crazy.
Technically speaking, it was over the course of 2 days, but in that amount of time
Yeah.
because I did
I
have
don't.
to sleep and I did have to go to work. So and that's with painting details. So they were GNXs, so they're missing gray and other details. So painting the details on for all of them. And for Jinx Week, I built a kit bash custom in 2 days with full paint job.
Right.
I was just in it. I'm like, this is the groove. I have to get the shit done.
I wish I could fucking work that fast, man. I just don't have it in me. Like I, as mental block for me. Like
Oh,
I
I
get
get
stuck
it.
on things. It's like OCD. I
Hey,
just.
when it's quality, I take my time. When I just need it to be done to my normal level, I can speed through it if it's a kit I've done over and over. I can build an HD Grays in 45 minutes. So, because I've built 22 of them at this point.
Right.
And I did a custom kit bash for one of those, along with some scratch building. Took me 3 days with painting. But once I had the idea in head, I just plowed through it. Paint wasn't great, but I was rushing to get it done for kind of a contest, kind of not, just a community deal. It was a grunt suit thing for Halloween, so I went with darker colors, blacks and yellows, and then just kit bashed it real quick. Most of my best work is actually done really fast. It seems like the slow stuff, like my Star Destroyer, looks fantastic, but I also did it kind of quick.
Huh.
Yeah. So if you want to see pictures of that, it's up there. So is a review and the build logs. Let's see here. One that won me a contest is this little guy.
Haro?
It's a Haro, but he is super weathered.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
I've never seen a fucking done up Haro before.
yeah.
You guys internals in there too?
Huh?
It's internals.
Yeah. So they have some internals already, but I added wires and I added the Terminator eye, and he does have an LED. I don't think it's got enough power left in the battery. Let me see if it'll come on. Oh, it does. Okay. I don't. If you can.
Yeah.
And it's a flicker candle, so it actually blinks.
Yeah.
So
That's cool.
this was a day and a half. However,
People that can work fast boggles my mind.
but here's the thing: I had it planned. So I had been practicing the weathering techniques. So I had the layer, the chipping, and all that down. I had planned out, at least in my head, the blown out eye and that whole area. And at that point, it's just work. And I don't believe in, I follow Adam Savage's idea. It's like it can be done quickly as long as you're willing to live with your level of shit. So it's like if your level of if you start increasing your level of shittiness, good, but you're when your standards of your own shittiness are really high,
Yeah.
and you can manage to get shit done quick, then it's worth it. Like I said, I knew what I wanted to do. I just had to get there. And the thing that took the longest part was running the LED. It's my first time wiring my own shit, and he's semi bolted to the thing. It's held in place by the wires going up into the LED. And I won a contest over my friend's like 2 week paint job. It's like he took like 2.5 weeks to build up a Zone of Enders Anubis.
Ooh. Oh, that's
Yeah.
a good design. That's a fucking beautiful design.
I hate the kit.
I mean, I can imagine. Like it's got floating wings.
Yeah, but
Like 6 floating wings. Like,
it's
I can't
not.
imagine that
It's
being
just
a
not a
float.
good kit. It just
I mean,
isn't.
Zone of Enders in general, like
Yeah.
I don't, unless they're bigger, I can't imagine a small Zone of Ender kit being any fun at all.
I mean, it's the size of a master grade.
Finicky.
Yeah, it's super finicky because it's Kotobukiya.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I have the fucking Knights of Sidonia kit that I still haven't put together from fucking.
Oh yeah. I know that one. So he entered that in his RG Sazabi that we call Chokosabi. He did it in kind of a desert scheme with browns, different kind of lighter browns and stuff. It actually looks like a chocolate marshmallow. It's kind of funny. But he placed with that, not the Anubis that was painted up like Iron Man.
Oh damn!
So it was reds and golds, look gorgeous. So they're like, that's a great paint job, but we like the realism of this one. It was IPMS guys doing it, so real modelers looking at techniques. And so I brought this. I brought my Flame Toys Bumblebee that I customized, and I brought my where is he? My custom ball Haro thing. So it's HG ball put into the mobile Haro, and then I made a custom Harodama weapon for him to use, and he's like Thor. So like the weapon is the thing that gives him his power. I came with the whole fiction behind it. Hold on. Ow. Okay. I'll take the normal one out for comparison. Damn it. It's so back heavy. So this is kind of just for us. Okay, so I coincidentally found out that an HG ball is roughly the same size as a Haropla and will fit.
It just fucking fits in there.
Yeah, all it takes is just one plug. Yeah. So this is what we call a ball and cup. So a combat utility pod.
Nice.
Yeah. So
I like it.
I came up. So I already had this ball set that I had already painted this way. So normal one and then a painted one. So I painted this one to match the color scheme of that ball. But then I added the ball arms coming out the front. Did all the other stuff around that. But it was the custom weapon.
With a Haro top.
With the Haro on top. And because... So it's a ball and cup. And a kendama is a ball and cup toy. So that's what it is. It's even on a chain. It can catch it on either side. It can use the pile bunker. But the idea is that, like, this was him normal, and then he picked up the Harodama and turned into this. So it's like their version of Thor or whatever, you know. So some kind of weird Haro fiction that I'm coming up with. I actually want to talk to Pinkerton about maybe making the Temple of Haro, because I want to use the figurized mechanics Haro as like and paint it up like a stone statue. Yeah. But its eyes will light up, so that's where its source of power is. And then have more of these in the background as statues for the old warriors that came before. You know, and actually have a cool diorama for it. That's down the line.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah. So
it sounds cool.
But so this cool custom work, the iffy sticker job, the Haro was the one that made me win or got me the win, just for technique alone. I'm not thinking anything of it. It's a day and a half build for me. It was cool. It was fun. But they literally came back to me 3 times with questions. They're like,
interested in techniques.
Yeah, they're like, hey, so, and then my buddy's son brought a regular Haro Pla, like, you know, to the kid division. And I was like, this is what it started as for your base reference. This is what I turned it into. And like one guy that I know who is a fantastic builder and customizer, he said once I showed him that that's what I was bringing, he decided not to show up. I'm like, why? Like, even it's like I'm not being humble, I'm just thinking that my shit isn't worth it. Like, I was just like, what? Like when they said I won, I'm like,
they were looking for something specific that you didn't know what they were looking. Well, I guess nobody really knew what they were looking for, I guess.
Yeah. Well, obviously quality mattered, but it was the technique, because they're just modelers. They don't care about the fiction.
Yeah.
So, you know, and then just adding all the extra dirt in there, and it said like this thing has a visual story. Like,
and it's not just cool looking, because you can, you know, it's not too hard to just paint something to look cool.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Transformers pulls that off.
Yeah, I mean, any of us with any kind of experience can pull off a nice candy coat, you know, and it'll look great. But technique-wise.
Yeah, but he's like, just they kept coming to it, all 3 of them. You know, it's like they had 3 judges, the store owner, and then the guys from the actual organization, and then they just kept coming to it. Like everybody else, they just kind of fast passed, except for the ones they were really interested in, like my buddies Sazabi.
Yeah,
mouth is tired, and so. I was like, when I saw what they weren't looking at, like, despite the quality of my other 2 builds, that's not what they were looking for. And so when I actually showed them how the LED worked, and they're like, it's like, and you just did this on your own? I was like, yeah. It's just like, it's like I never played with making my own. I've done pre-wired stuff.
Yeah.
Even buying the Mr. Hobby LED kits and stuff like that. But, and I was just like, yeah, it's like, okay, yeah, that was an easy win. I was like, it was just me doing something fun, because it's real simple. I mean, like you can see under there.
Nice as a creativity thing.
Yeah, it's creativity, but technique. It's like nobody else showed anything close to that. One dude did some weathering and things like that, and very minor diorama, stuff like that. But as it went, nobody else brought a game like that.
Yeah.
So, I need to check to see when they're doing their next contest. So they're breaking it down, military vehicles, Gundam-esque things, and then like spaceships and stuff because they didn't know where to put them. So I want to bring my Star Destroyer for that.
Cool.
Because I learned 3 new techniques to do the Star Destroyer. It's like I wanted to send it to Bobby to look at, and he's like, eh. It's like I think he just didn't want to ship it, which is fine.
Yeah, it's a big fucking, and also like you probably don't want to break it.
It's not. There's really nothing to break. It's a brick. It's a self-contained brick. I mean, you're not gonna fuck anything up except trying to turn the light switch on. You know, which you don't. You know, it's not that hard. You know, I do it with a spudger. You know, although I do want to customize it to have its own USB power. Yeah, exactly. I want to build up the base because everything's self-contained in the ship. I want to actually build up the base, put a USB power under it, and add the switch there instead of having to open it up and reach in and flip the switch, just to make it so much fucking easier. Because it's a fantastic, beautiful kit. But either way, we've just been going forever. We're at just under 4 hours. But see,
a lot.
I knew that this was going to happen, so it's fine. I mean, that's why it's a day off. I can do whatever I want. This is what always happens. Me and Bobby went for like 4 hours too, and I edited it down to like 3. So, but that was really fun. But that was also a very specific. I was really interviewing him. This I knew was just going to turn into
nerd. This us bullshit.
Yeah. This is nerd. This is nerd talk.
Yeah, this is fucking podcast now. That's what I thought.
Yeah. See, this is why I couldn't come on Nerd Rage Radio because it would go too long.
It depends on the day. Sometimes we still go long. Like we used to do 3 hours all the time.
Yeah, but when you're sitting in the same room, it's easy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's just like face to face versus just audio is different. You know?
Yeah, exactly. You guys can have a little. You guys have adjusted well though.
Trying to it's still very different. Like it's not the same. You know? We want to go. We'll go back to it as soon as we can.
Yeah, I can't wait for that for you guys. It's gonna sound like a totally different episode.
The Maryland's opening up this week.
Yeah, we're
like we're safe, so we're gonna play tentatively and just see where things go, see if there's any spikes or anything like that before.
We're doing okay down here in Texas. Some cities are still on the rise, but that's because they were behind the curve anyways.
I mean, they were behind testing. Like that's one thing people don't realize. Like the tested cases.
Yeah.
And like actual cases that exist in the world aren't the same thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, we'll never know. We will never know how many people have it. But locally, they are the in my city, because I'm not directly in Houston. Testing is still going on, but people are definitely just at the point like, fuck it, if I get it, I get it, and I'll go take care of it. So it's almost like I'm not sick. I'm not going to go get tested. People who are getting sick, even the ones who are sick and getting tested, the numbers are going down daily. Yeah, so we're doing better. I think we've gone a few days without a death.
Good.
And I think even locally, we've only had 60 deaths. That's not bad. I mean,
no, that's not at all. I mean, it's not good, but it's not bad compared
to New York. Yeah. I mean,
like this thing is on its way out somehow.
For now.
Yeah. I mean, it's never really over for a disease until we have a cure or a vaccine for it. So,
which they're fast tracking pretty well. So, they fast track the human trials. Hopefully, it goes well. Other treatments seem to be working really well. Certain medications seem to be working really well. Yeah. It's not a cure for everyone, but it's progress in the right direction, which is what we've needed.
Some people just fucking get a cough one day. Some people don't
get or the runs.
Yeah. Or some people just fucking die. So like it's one of those.
Yeah, some people die in 24 hours.
Throw your hands up like I don't know what the fuck this is.
Yeah,
that's why we shut down. It's a danger of it. You don't know what the fuck is going to happen to people. Yeah. So better safe than sorry is usually a decent way to go about things.
Yeah. See, we're in phase 2 already here. You guys just cracking into phase 1, but you guys were way closer to a major epicenter than we were.
Yeah, I mean, like one of the nursing homes down the street from us got hit real hard.
That's what happened. That's what happened here. 2 nursing homes. Most of our deaths came from several nursing homes. Yeah. As unfortunate as that is, but it's fortunate and unfortunate because that's kind of an easy area to predict. versus everywhere else. You know,
Yeah.
it's like, okay, it's here. We'll just.
It's not a surprise.
It's not a surprise.
It's not like fuck what we're gonna do now. Like we didn't expect this.
Yeah.
You know?
The real once we determined where a lot of the main sources came from here, because apparently a lot of local cases started with a single tint at the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo, which they finally traced back to when people started actually answering the questions. Since we're not allowed to trace people.
Yeah.
Either way, I don't want to get into all that, but either way, hopefully the world is finally changing for the better when the global market can finally get back rolling. Things will start leveling out. The fear is dropping down. Now we just have a whole new problem to deal with right now. It's like
not a new problem, but a problem that we finally have to deal with. It feels like.
Well, I don't even know if it's going to come to that, but it's been a charged problem for a long time.
Yeah, it needs to be dealt with somehow.
Whatever keeps causing this particular problem, I'm not going into it, but whatever keeps specifically causing this problem
needs to fucking get handled.
Will get handled. It has to, regardless. It's like we can't keep doing this, you know. And it's like we need to find unity somewhere. I mean,
we're where we are now because it keeps happening.
That can be saying for basically every problem we have.
Yes.
So we need aliens.
Yes.
Aliens, if you're listening. Elon, call your home planet. Tell them. Tell Elon Musk to summon his actual overlords to come down and bitch smack us a little bit into reality. It's like, or everyone just needs to watch anime and chill the fuck out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, I finally have gotten my wife to watch Avatar, Last Airbender.
It's fucking great. I watched it like multiple times. 10 years ago.
And now that it's back on Netflix, we can finally watch it again here.
I think it's on the same. I'll put it on the same pedestal as Batman animated series.
Yeah, it is. It is. But like, she's like, when I told her Avatar, she was thinking Blue Cat People.
Which I think that thing is fucking overrated and overhyped, and I don't like it.
I know. I remember. I think y'all talked about that recently. But she thought it was a series based on that.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But
I mean,
and then when I told her, it's like, no, it's not that. And I told her it was a quote unquote cartoon. She's like, I don't want to fucking watch no cartoon. And I'm like, baby, shut the fuck up. We're gonna watch it. We got to get through the first cringy 4 episodes. And then it'll start getting good.
All anime, you gotta give it at least 3 to 4 episodes to on his legs.
Yep, like that rule of 3. But we're about 10 episodes in to the first season. She's engaging. She's actually laughing. She's commenting on some of the characters, stuff like that. And so I can tell she's getting there. But I'm the one who got her into nerdy stuff. Like, so she knows of things. But I got her into Marvel. I got her into the DC shows. I got her into different things, other kinds of nerdy movies and stuff like that. So I'm just very slowly getting her into things.
Yeah,
it's like when I'm done with Avatar.
You gotta override the stigma and stereotype that's been inbuilt to an uninitiated, a normie.
Exactly.
When you tell a normie what a cartoon, you're gonna watch a cartoon or an anime.
That's for kids.
Very different than what exists.
That's for kids. Why do you watch that? And then I say, you love Moana. Shut the fuck up. I was like, says the girl who every single time Moana comes on can't turn it off. Or here's what's really funny. She loves the movie Grease. That is a fucking cartoon.
Yes.
Grease is a goddamn cartoon.
100%.
They break out into song and dance. That's a fucking cartoon.
Gangsters.
Exactly. It's like, that's a fucking cartoon with real people. Don't come to me with saying you can't. And actually, you know what's funny? You know, she won't watch anime with me or anything like that. She does think it's dumb. Obviously, I'm working on that. So she comes home from work, and I am legit watching the All for One versus All Might fight.
Oh my god, that shit.
And it's right at the end. It's right at the end, all the way up until the post-fight speech. And she was engaged. She was watching it.
You can't not be.
Yeah. And she's like, what?
compelling.
Yeah, no concept of what's going on or the characters or anything, but she's seeing that it's something, and I'm in tears.
Yeah,
It's like,
dude,
I'm
that
like,
episode changed my views on several pieces of fictional media.
yeah. And then there's other times where like I got her into Doctor Who, at least the newer side. I need to,
That's all digestible.
yeah.
I think that's a
So
good way to get the normie into our world.
yeah, you got, but my magnum opus I think will be getting her to watch Firefly and enjoy it.
But then she's, but
She have to know my pain, Joe.
given a curse, how would you get someone into Firefly now?
Why not? Everybody should be a brown coat, goddammit. Everyone must know my pain. Hey, also, just last note before we go here, I got fucked up on that too. I did the same thing I did with Gundam Wing. I watched the movie first, and
Serenity?
then I watched Serenity first, and then went back and watched the series.
I feel like that's more normal because Serenity was pretty popular.
Yeah.
At the time. That,
Yeah.
I remember it being pushed like commercially.
Well, it had to be because it was brought up by the fans. The fan that was the first instance of fans' reaction having an effect directly on Hollywood.
Yeah, but then it never fucking went anywhere.
Well, it didn't have to. It didn't have to go anywhere after that because the fans did it. Well,
retroactively got people into Firefly. So like, I don't think the order in which you watched this really.
In this case, no. But I knew what Firefly was when it was on TV. I just didn't watch it because that's the power of how bad Fox screwed them over. 100%. I saw what it was. I knew of Nathan Fillion from Buffy.
Yep.
And it was a Joss Whedon show.
Captain Hammer.
Yep. Exactly. Fucking Captain Hammer. And I love in Castle they have Captain Hammer and Firefly references.
Yep.
It's fucking awesome. So let's go ahead and wrap this because it has gone on for fuck off ever. I'm going to break this into 2 episodes. So I'm going to have to.
This shit way long and edity. Hey, but I just went with it. I was like, if you want to talk, I'll talk. Shit, if you're talking nerd, we'll talk nerd.
I knew you could talk. I was aware of this. I've heard your like 40-minute rambles on Nerd Rage. and everybody else is just like, I think even Chris probably got up to go do something else while you were talking. And it's like, is Joe still going? Yes, he is. It's fine.
Give me one, man.
Yes, exactly. So, I mean, it's been fun. There's no complaints. It's just literally like, we should probably stop. Yeah. So it's been
it's awesome talking to you. Like, I've never talked to you, like,
directly at all. Yeah.
It's been great, and thanks for having me.
Oh, of course.
Like, who the fuck wants to hear me talk about bullshit?
Me.
But if you do, then
me.
I'll talk to you.
I don't even care if other people don't get to see this. I mean, it would suck for my, space of computer and internet.
And time, yeah. But I mean, I've enjoyed the time.
Yeah, exactly. This is like, it's not a waste of time if you enjoyed the time you wasted. So this was a ton of fun. I certainly enjoyed it. I will talk to you again, like one way, shape, or form. And I wouldn't mind talking to the wifey as well. Or if we could do a Gundam build together, that'd be fun.
She does one every Wednesday. So, but we can't do a group build. I'll talk to her about it. She has a huge backlog of Bear Guys. She has G Gundam is her favorite Gundam of all time. You can't convince her otherwise. G Gundam, we're gonna end on this. I also love G Gundam, but it's not a Gundam show.
I caught it at the wrong time. Had I watched G Gundam when it was on air, I know I would have liked it.
Yeah.
Trying to watch
it was the first of its kind.
Yeah.
The other shit.
But trying to watch it after watching real Gundam series as an adult, I think I got 5 episodes in.
It's fun. You might want to give it, if you have, well, not that you have time, give it a go, but just pretend it's not a Gundam show.
No, it's just, I couldn't. Like, I gave it a fair shake, dude. I really did.
Like, if you like Gurren Lagann, I feel like you would like G Gundam.
See, everybody says that, but I tried. And like I said, if it was when it was new, I know I would have liked it.
Yeah.
I would have liked that art style. I would have loved the super robot stuff that's happening.
Yep.
And I like the cheesy but I like, so put it to you this way. I prefer new Voltron to old Voltron for that same reason.
Yeah.
Same story, done way better.
Yeah.
Not to
I
mention,
agree.
now if they came out with G Gundam now with modern animation and slightly better storytelling, I guarantee you, I would definitely be on board with that silly shit. I guarantee it. And
Yep.
and somehow Domonkashu exists in the world of Build Fighter Try.
Yep.
Somehow.
Another reason I love it. The fucking Master Gundam was in the last episode. She was fucking jumping up and down.
Yeah. Well, he was on screen. I don't know if you, like.
No, I'm talking about the Master Gundam.
Yeah.
What's his?
Oh, when
The old Rumbarowski.
the other dude's master. Yeah. That's right.
Yeah. He has a Master Gundam.
Yeah, I forgot about that because they did the whip thing where he literally spun him into a giant tornado in space.
Yep.
Because that's how that works.
G Gundam.
Okay, I knew what the Shining Finger was when Sekai does that to the denial.
Yes.
I'm getting chills. Like, dude,
was,
okay, but I love that.
Yeah.
I love.
You love what came out of G Gundam, but
I love what G Gundam. Yeah. I love what G Gundam. Yeah, I don't like G Gundam. I like what G Gundam. G Gundam is my Beast Wars. I totally. That's like. I'll use that reference. It's like I don't like it as itself.
But all she has is G Gundam kits and Build Fighter kits.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that.
No, it's great. Like that's what I always give Bandai credit for. Like they were able to bring everybody together. Somebody who said they will never have anything to do with Gundam versus a diehard fan got us all into it together.
Yep.
And gotten the girl fan base, the female, like there's, I think Build Fighters got a lot of girls into Gundams.
Yeah.
That was never before.
My wife never built anything before. Her first couple kits were either Bear Guys or Build Fighters kits.
Right. So yeah. So like, and that's again why Divers is even worse in comparison when how good Fighters was. But I will watch Re-Rise when it finishes.
Yeah. Well, God knows when that'll be. Well, like I said, you can watch the first half and leave yourself with a really nice cliffhanger, and you'll feel satisfied but want more, because I feel like that's your foot in the door to make sure you want to watch it.
I'm gonna watch it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna watch it.
Yeah. And then when you're done watching that, go watch our reviews.
Oh yeah, I don't want to spoil it if you have spoiler reviews.
They are spoiler reviews that we go through the episode chronologically, going over every little detail, stuff like that. So if you want to watch the episode and watch our reviews, also like I actually I went a little deep when it came back. They showed us an alien language on screen and we actually translated it and learned shit that was coming later.
Wow.
And then retroactively went back, found more, and we're like, holy shit. Like this was on screen and they're only just now addressing it, but we figured that shit out in like episode 1 of the new.
That's true nerd power right there.
Yeah. So now I have an alien alphabet written down here. It's just it's 1-to-1 English. It's just you got to figure out what that is.
Yeah, but it's still fun. It's a decoder ring kind of thing.
Yeah, and I was apparently the first person to do it. So nice. I started spreading that shit. We've gained more and more viewers every week because we're one of only like 2 channels who are even going over the episodes, and we're the only ones going over it in depth and finding things in theory crafting. So, but guys, for everyone out there, if you have watched this long, which I assume is in a 2-part thing. Thanks.
I'm assuming there's only 3 people left, maybe.
Nobody watches. They might listen, though, because other people might listen, but they're like, yeah, we've heard Joe talk about this. Yeah, we know Joe. It's okay. But what do they need to follow you on anything?
No, I'm like, find me on Nerd Rage.
Or just go to Nerd Rage.
Well, I'm not a hidden kind of person though. If you want to talk to me, just find me on Nerd Rage. I'll be there. So
there you go. Go follow Nerd Rage Radio, and while you're there, go follow Crashbox Customs and then Bobby and all those other things like that. They're all cool dudes. So now I have to have Pinkerton on, except I feel like that's going to be a fairly short conversation in comparison.
And you want to talk about to him about diorama building and resin and the 3D printers.
That's why I would have him on logistically. Yep. So like, I think. And also his whole reality show idea that he came up with for, doing the dioramas and showing stuff off like that, I'd be down for. Yep. So, all right, guys out there, hope y'all have a great day, great week, whatever time it might be. And I forgot to do the motto at the beginning of this, and it really, really works for Joe. So the motto of the Shoky NERDCAST is, you may not be a nerd for everything, but everyone is a nerd for something. So,
it. Love it.
We'll catch you next time. And this is only the first one I've done this year. So bye, guys.
See you guys.